Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day in Miami, Florida, and also in Tampa because I have a very special guest joining me from out of Tampa. We're going to talk about dating. I know y'all love it. This is going to be a relationship edition of the Suzette Speaks show. We're talking about dating while broke. How did this happen, y'all? Well, basically, I was talking to my fellow YouTuber and friend and colleague, Mr. DL Saint, offline about a couple of first dates I was having, or a couple of invitations for first dates I was having. And based on that conversation, we both were like, "Nah, bruh, we see these circumstances very differently as a man from a man's perspective and from a woman's perspective." So I thought it would be a cool conversation to come forward and talk a little bit more about dating while broke, your best and your worst first dates. Yes, we're going to go there today. I'm going to share a few. He's going to share a few. But most importantly, I think it's important that we kind of bridge the gap between how men see first dates and how women see first dates. And what are the expectations, and have the expectations changed over the years? And the answer, quite frankly, is yes. When you step out there, ladies, and you're going on a first date, depending on your age range, depending on what city you live in, depending on what you're expecting out of the guy, they're going to be very different responses. And it's the same from a male's perspective. When a man comes to a first date, he's looking for certain things. If he's not looking for something serious, you're going to get, I guess, a certain type of offer, let's say. And I'm going to ask DL about what it means when a man wants to just go to, say, coffee, or a man wants to take you to the movies, or wants you to cook for him at your house when you just, you haven't even met him yet. I've had all these things happen to me in the last, 30 days. So it is a critical subject matter. We're going to have some fun with it, but I want you to come in and say hello to me first and foremost. Again, first dates, dating while broke is the subject matter for today. We are co-hosted every Saturday by Jamaicans.com. Big up to my co-hosts. If you're watching on their Facebook page, hit the like button. And if you're watching on the Suzette Speaks YouTube page, come on over. If you're on Facebook, you can find me on YouTube. Just look up Suzette Speaks. But I thought of DL because DL is a man of experience. He is a very practical man. He calls himself red pill, but he has his own definition for it. But he likes to look at things realistically, ladies. And sometimes we get accused, ladies, of, I guess, wishful thinking, what we want a situation to be, what we want a situation to mean. And I'm okay with some degree of red pill. I'm agreeing with him that sometimes we are not as realistic as we should be when it comes from seeing things from a man's perspective. But that doesn't mean everything and anything goes, DL. I'm going to get into it. We're also going to talk about Riri and her cover photo for the British Vogue magazine. Now, that has made headlines. If you guys have tuned in, you guys know I like to cover hot topics, what's trending on social media, and the cover with Riri and her child's father and her long-term partner, ASAP Rocky, has been in the news. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to talk a little bit about this. Yes, this cover, where some people thought she was too much in the front, too much of a strong and almost masculine position. How ASAP is in the back holding the baby, being the nurturer. I don't know. We're going to take, DL hasn't seen it yet. He's going to see it for the first time here. And I want to get his real and, genuine, authentic reaction to that. We also have a very viral story about Mr. Jonathan. Oh, yes, ladies, you're welcome. You're welcome. I haven't shown him this picture either, but this is Jonathan Majors, y'all. He is a fantastic actor, and he is being featured in Creed 3 as the foil for Michael B. Jordan. He has a great body of work, from civil rights movies and biopics to, boxing and all these other, super masculine roles he's played. But y'all, he's in the front of Ebony magazine, with that sauce. They say he looking a little saucy and a little. Some are accusing him of being, utilized for some bigger agenda to create an effeminate depiction of the Black man. Well, we're going to get into it with DL Saint, y'all. If you don't know, some of these topics are going to probably ruffle some feathers. It's all good. We're here for open discussion. We're here for open and honest and truthful discussion. But we're going to start, before we get to the magazine covers and what they mean for the Black community and how the Black diaspora is interpreting them. I want you to hit the like button, please. You guys know I'm here several times a week having a good time here on YouTube. So if you're over on the Facebook side, make sure you go over YouTube and go subscribe. My channel information is in the description. I also have DL Saint here with me. He's also a fabulous creator. He creates a lot of interesting shows from the male perspective. You have been warned. But again, today he is blessing us with his time, his expertise when it comes to dating and what a man thinks. Before I bring him up, don't forget, hit the like button, please, as you come on in. Thank you again for watching all the way from, I see several of my peeps, TTOO, dating while broke is a real thing, guys, because people want to come to the table and see what you really, really want from them. And I don't know if it's a test sometimes, but ladies, back me up. It happens. Just to kind of see what your takes are on it, guys. And again, we may disagree, but it's okay. We can agree to disagree. I just want to know what I see, and maybe if I'm misinterpreting it or interpreting it in a different way. Shout out to Doug, one of my fantastic supporters and moderators. Shout out to Brown Gal Peace Lounge in the building. Thank you for being here, sis. I appreciate you. Damon, I see you. All of you who are watching live, thank you so very much. Team Replay, hit the like button. TTOO already started talking about he does look a little suspect in the pictures. Listen, we didn't even get to the pictures yet. We have some work to do because I think Black masculinity gets kind of pigeonholed. Maybe DL will agree or disagree. Y'all also check me out on Patreon. I have a fantastic subscriber and member only community on Patreon. Go to patreon.com for those who want more exclusive shows and want to support me in this journey. I appreciate y'all supporting my content. Big up all my Patreon members. We had a fantastic discussion last Saturday with the one and only Trish For Real, talking about giving grace and how it has helped her throughout her life. We also had some fabulous shows here on YouTube. If you didn't see 10 mistakes to avoid for weight loss with the one and only Janice Gaffney, I had her on last week or during this week, and she was fantastic, y'all. It was a great stream. And then we got many of my subscribers up, my speakers, my speaker community who came through and blessed us with their knowledge as well as when it comes to what we're doing wrong. Clearly, I was doing a few things wrong. Y'all go back and watch Black Women in STEAM. I know you've heard about Black women in STEM, but women of color are well underrepresented in STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, architecture is the A, and the M is, oh my goodness, math. So you want to make sure you go check it out. Watch that with a young man or young woman, right? We're doing work over here. But before we get to, the subject at hand, let me introduce the gentleman who needs no introduction. Again, he's also a YouTuber. Y'all, please check out his channel. Hit the like button as you come in. If you're brand new watching the SuzetteSpeaks show, please consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button. I have some fantastic shows coming up next week. I have a lot of lady lawyers. It's just like that, I guess, next week. We're going to do some work. I can't wait. A young lady who calls herself the spiritual attorney, an immigration attorney, and divorce. We're going to talk a little bit about couple of interesting topics, if you will, from a woman's perspective, a lawyer's perspective. Again, I like bringing interesting, dynamic, and thoughtful people over here. So if you like good conversations, you're in the right place. BigUpJamaicans.com as well. Facebook for allowing me to simulcast each and every Saturday. Big up everybody watching. Good afternoon, Miss AKA Lady. Good to see you. Happy you're here. Welcome out here trucking. What beep. Let's go. Or bump. Jeremy in the building. Ruth on the Facebook side says, if you broke and are trying to date, your priorities are a little off. Well, sis, just tell them how you feel. I appreciate you. We get into it. Let's bring up our guest. Without further ado, I'm so happy he made time for us and is so patient with me. And a little bit of a late start, but we're here. Thank you so much. Big up the one and only DL Saint. How are you, DL?
What's good? I mean, you always get it going. I gotta give you that time. You always get it going right, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for spending time with us over here on the SuzetteSpeaks show. He's not a stranger here, y'all. He's been over here many times, talking his talk, and making sure, to keep us aware. But DL, without further ado, thank you again, brother. And would you please introduce yourself for people who have not seen you before?
Hey, and thanks for having me. I'm DL Saint. I'm DL Saint. I am. I guess I can't say new anymore. I guess I've been in these YouTube trenches for about a year now, a little over a year. Shout out to SuzetteSpeaks. She was the first platform that ever put me on a panel. I didn't know anything about all that, was willing to hear my points of view. And Suzette is always open-minded. Nothing but respect for that. Nothing but respect for her. I'm a retired air traffic controller. I live in Tampa, as Suzette said at the top of the show. I'm a single dad. And that's pretty much it. You know, I mean, that's all you're gonna get from me anyway. I mean, I can't
That's
tell y'all
good. That's
all
good.
my
That's
secrets.
good.
Can't tell y'all all my secrets now.
You don't
But
need much more than that. That covers it. That covers it. We keep it trill, but people need to know we got lives as well. So I appreciate you being here, DL. There's so much that we can start with this topic. I don't know where you want to start, brother, but
we
yeah, the first
anywhere.
dates are getting out of control. The first dates are something that used to be very predictable for me anyway, but now I'm like, okay, maybe I need a different playbook. So reached out to DL. He was of course ready and willing to come over and grace us with some of the insights that ladies we may be missing. DL is a grown man, a man of a certain age, right?
Yeah.
He is also someone who gives dating advice to younger men. And agree with it or not, I'm not saying I agree with all of it, but agree with it or not, he is very transparent when it comes to what he thinks the dating market is like and why men and women probably see it very differently when it comes to putting yourself out there for a date. Shout out to everybody. Great Pill says Mr. Red Pillow himself. Okay, he's in the building. The Alaska man in Jersey. Good to see you. What's up, brother? Good to have you here. TCO says broke women can't date. Uh-oh. And I can't date while broke. So he said if you are broke or if the gentleman is broke, and again, we're talking in the regular sense of most common, which is, heteronormative. Of course, there's people all throughout in between that, but for the purposes of today's conversation, that's what we'll be kind of focused on. So when we're talking about dating, DL, have you ever encountered a time in your life where you were broke and dating?
Oh, absolutely. Come on now. Who who hasn't? Are you serious? I mean, come
I'm
on.
just setting up a
Right? Think
conversation.
about
Don't be
that now.
mad. Don't be.
Oh no, I'm not. The question had to be asked. I mean, you
Yes,
have
like,
to.
cause I gotta throw it out there. Cause again, people gonna be like, "Well, he got it together. He retired. He got his thing. Why is he telling us about this?" But I wanted to place you in your life at some point. All of us have been there, right? So shout out to Miss AKA Lady showing love on the super chat. Says shout out to my faves. Thanks, sis. We appreciate you always. Fantastic, fantastic supporter of both of ours, and I'm grateful that you're here for this juicy conversation. Again, dating while broke with Suzette Speaks and DL Saint. So in those periods of time, you were probably much younger. Just talk about your approach to how you got out there and what were women responsive to.
All right. Well, before we get to that, I mean, when folks talk about this subject, like, oh, have you ever dated, when you didn't have money or you were broke? Like, I've never done that. Oh, you didn't go to prom. You know what I mean? You never went, you never had a crush on little Susie over there in, you know what I mean, eighth grade. I'm pretty sure you was broke, right? Because you were a kid,
Right,
you
right,
didn't
right,
have any
right.
money.
Yes,
So
those are
when
times where we expect people to be broke. Yes,
however, so there it is. So we all start from that phase where money wasn't
dollar
an issue.
store treats and cards.
That's it,
Absolutely.
because we were all broke. Only money we had is what money our parents would give us, or from your paper route. For those of you who remember papers, I'm sure I'm my age here. Yeah, I know I'm old. I was born in the '70s. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things. So yeah, we've all started there. And I was, looking at the chats, and people like, if you're broke, you shouldn't be out there. Broke women shouldn't be dating. Broke men shouldn't be dating. Why not? Right? Think about that for a second. Why not? What does money have to do with you establishing a relationship with someone? Because I tell you what, it doesn't cost me a dime to fellowship with my brothers. Doesn't
Uh-huh.
cost me a dime to go out and have healthy relationships with, like the trusted men in my life and
Right,
older women or kids. So
right.
why is it when we date we have to have money? All right, so I just wanted to start there. Like, let's throw
Yes.
that food for thought out there right away. So yeah, when we get into it, when I was a young man, right, and this
Hmm.
was, after my military service and stuff like that. Once upon a time, yes, Uncle Saint was in the military. Y'all see that flag behind me? I was a paratrooper. I've been deployed. I'm a veteran of Desert Storm, and I've done some things, you know what I mean, for the United States Army, America. But here's the thing: when I got home, I was broke. Let's keep it 100. I didn't have money, you know what I mean, like that. I was out there working my butt off. So I never used money. I never led with my wallet because there wasn't much there to lead with. So I would go out, and I always worked on quote unquote game. I know how to talk to people. I know how to talk to women, and I would just do that. So I was probably the most successful in the dating world, the dating game, when I was broke. Yeah,
Mm.
because I had nothing to lose. You know what I mean? And then all the people out there like the real red pillers. Like when people get to know me, they realize like I'm not red pill like that craziness out there. You know what I mean? There's some craziness out there. I'm not hardcore like that. But there are some truths in that world and those messages to come out. In fact, I have a book here we'll get into in a minute.
Pause. Let me pause
Just like
you.
a red pill
Yes.
book.
So much there. Okay, we have started out strong. Welcome everybody. Thank you everybody watching live. Hit the like button. See, we are nice and full in terms of the live viewers. Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook side, everybody watching on the YouTube side. Suzette Speaks with DL Saint, talking about first dates and dating while broke. Again, people end up in different circumstances throughout their life, and I don't like just in general marginalizing people to their lowest point and judging them off of like sometimes you meet a person and it's just like life came at them fast. In that moment they have everything that could go wrong, and then you meet them and I've met men at the wrong time. You ever met a man or woman at a wrong time of their life?
Yeah. Yesterday. You gotta know how to walk away.
I was trying to do it rhetorically, but he's like, yeah, I actually have. So I I have met some really nice guys at like really bad moments for them, and they have backed away. They have been like, nah, I can't even handle you right now. This is like tragedy struck them and they're just trying to get their lives together, and it's like just the wrong time. I've met guys like right at their like breaking points, and I'm like, this would be an amazing man, but they don't want you to see them at their struggle, right? During their struggle. So that happens too. TTOO comments, I was taught the game from ballers, players not playing broke. So okay. And DL just made a statement that I wanted to pause you on because we don't want to fly past that. You said you were most successful in the dating game when you didn't have much resources. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about why, because I think some people are going to hear that. And of course, being younger, I think sometimes when you're in your younger years, women accept different things more so when you mature. But I want to know why. In just a second, let me read a couple more. Hey, everybody. The Gray Pill podcast. Welcome, brother. Always a pleasure to have you. Says, we're not dating this same sex. Okay, I get it. So, yes, the idea is here. Clearly, when I spoke to TL briefly, I was like, no, we need to save this for YouTube. Because some of the things I was saying, he was like, nah, bro, what you talking about? It was very different from what his point of view, looking at what the man may have been thinking.
And I think what Great Pills he's referencing is, I said, well, I could go out and fellowship with fellow men, like, oh, we're not trying to date, but it's still a relationship. The point I was trying to make, and obviously I didn't make it with Great Pill, is money is not required to establish a relationship with anyone. True. Male, female, it's not required. It's not a requirement. But we'll get into requirements here in a second, and that's where
there are some stipulations to that. My eye twitching. Okay, let me keep it moving. See, Amethyst, how are you? Good to see you, sis. Says, be sure to hit the like button. Thank you, Hank Deasy in the building. So I would love to hear the answer to that question. Why not date while broke? Why not date while why not date while broke? All right, he gonna answer for you. Hey, Marlon, fellow attorney Miami, in the building, says, lead with your integrity. Hey, Miss Globe Girl, happy Saturday to you too, sis.
Shout out to my favorite sailor, Miss Globe Girl's in the house. I see you, shorty.
Fantastic. Miss AKA Lady says, the era of me going out broke is done. If I leave the house, I'm at least gonna have enough funds to pay for my own expenses and get back home. Hello. I'm always my first backup plan. This is true. Because we've seen this on social media when people be arguing with people about why you didn't pay for me and my girls. Now there's a whole nother side of that where you want to take your whole birthday party and have your dude pay for your whole birthday party. If that's not discussed beforehand, ladies, I think that's kind of like a red flag, but we'll get there. Shout out to Ebony. Greetings, Ebony X in the building. Got to have you. Check out DL's podcast, y'all. He also, like I said, is a YouTuber, so he has a channel, so you can find it. Thank you, Doug, for dropping it in the chat. So if you want to find more DL Saint and what he's over there giving us so much, he was a comedian or is a comedian, guys. So he's funny as well as thoughtful. So you might get your feelings hurt sometimes, with you ladies, warned. But I think he's really creative in some of the topics he chooses, etc. So make sure you go over to his channel and also support that brother. Appreciate you. TTOO says, I work hard. When it's playtime, I'm balling, whether with my boys or on dates. Yay. The gray pill says, if a man checks all your boxes and making below your means of 30K, would you date him long term, marry or court? I brought this up with, I think you
Me.
and I spoke about this.
We
You,
talked about
I was
this.
gonna say, Dia, we spoke about this, and I also brought it up. I was gonna say on my Wednesday show. Y'all know Wednesdays I'm on with Roland Martin. So Faraji Muhammad, shout out to him and his show. And we both breached how much the average man in Florida makes. And DL, how much did the average man in Florida make?
I was looking at some numbers on, I think it was Zip Recruiter or something like that, but it was somewhere between like 37.6 or something like that. So I just rounded up to 40 grand. Let's say the
So
average man in Florida is probably earning for average man $40,000
So
a year.
you said 30,000 Great Pill. Average man in Florida is making 40 grand. Average, right?
Yeah, I want to say it was like 37.6 according to
37
the
and
numbers I
change.
was looking at. And I mean, there's so many numbers out there, and I got some more numbers here too when we get to this part of the show. This is gonna be fun, y'all. I can already see it's gonna be lit, as the young kids like to say. It's gonna be lit. Uh,
So
but
thinking
was
about that, the
But Sue, when I
realistic,
told you that though, your
yeah,
reaction, and I mean, this was over the phone. It's
yeah.
early in the morning. First thing, I didn't know something. Uncle Saint is not an early bird. I get up to take my daughter to school, and when Sue want to talk, she always want to talk early.
I
Me,
only
I'm up
call DL at 9 in the morning. So
9
we
in the
know what
morning,
it is. Every
and
time
I'm
I'm
like,
like, hey DL, I'm doing whatever we're doing.
she's like, "Are
So
you up?" I'm like,
yeah.
"No." But
That's
what do
the
you
when we
want?
do our YouTube debriefs and what you see last night, who's on, what they got going on. But yes, 9 o'clock is my call time when I'm free for DL. But yes, so we were talking about men and how much they make. And I had a specific scenario, which I'm going to share shortly, where I was inviting someone. I'm trying to change DL. Let me change the facts to protect the innocent here.
Right. Me, I'm like,
But
man, put him on blast. But go ahead.
no, we're not putting nobody on blast here. But no, but I was shocked because I was like, I thought that dude was digging me, but maybe he's not. So we'll get to that. But yeah, so to your question, Great Pill, realistically, I'm thinking like 40 grand being the average. Most likely, the man I meet that most likely or the odds are won't make as much as I make. That's just given. Now, will he be okay with that? Is I think the question, but to answer your question, I think within the realm of possibilities, I'm not sure about the 30K because that says a lot about, to me, education level, interests, what we like
Hustle.
to do together, and even hustle. Yeah. So I wouldn't say like if a man was making that right now because of a situation where he lost a job and he had to hustle and do his Uber and do whatever he had to do to just pay his bills, that's one thing. But if you grown and that's your fully realized potential and there was no other kind of like backstory, I would have a little bit more questions and be a little bit more cautious. But if you happen to be at a dip in your life, where again I've met people in a dip where it was like they lost their job, mom got sick, they had to go back through this, they had to move back with their parents, or they had to whatever it was. I can understand that because that has happened. I know many people that have gotten through really tough situations, made it through the other side, but you might meet them while they're in the valley. So the question becomes for me, Great Pill, is he in a valley? Or if that's his standard, I'm going to have to be like, maybe we just don't have enough in common to be together. Because I think if you are marrying too much outside of like things you have in common, it's not going to last anyway. So, or dating outside of that, he resents you, you resent him. People end up leaving each other. So if there is not enough, really, the word might not be justification, that might be too strong, but enough of a good reason why he might be in that kind of a scenario, I'm not sure it would work in the long term anyway. So I wouldn't really waste his time or mine. Yes, I agree with you, Hank Deasy on the super chat. Thank you for saying it, because if I say it, it might sound like women are saying something that is impractical. But from Hank Deasy, we get thank you again for showing love. Over a certain age, I think men should reach over 40K. I think that's reasonable over a certain age. But again, DL, myself, we were just checking out the numbers of really what do men really make. So again, we could probably break it down more by race and all those kind of things. We're just using a ballpark. Florida is big and wide and millions of people. So we, for a certain county or parish or whatever you call a city where you're from, it might be different, even lower perhaps or higher. We don't know, right? Depending on what industries are in that city or county, etc. But I agree with you. If you have lived a certain amount of time, we're not talking about just in your 20s. If you're in your 30s and 40s, we hope as women you would have been working towards establishing yourself. DL, am I wrong?
No, I mean, people can want what they want. Women want what they want, right? So let's get into this for a second. And I mean, and Brother Great Pill ain't wrong. I mean, anyone can do a simple Google search, which I did before we started the show, and you can see the numbers. And what people are like, everyone's stuck on this 30, 40,000, whatever. Back in 2018, and this was on CNBC. These numbers were based on data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is for men, that the median income for men 35 to 44 was 56,420, right? And that's probably the
That's
prime.
nationally speaking.
That's nationally speaking, because it's lower here in Florida, it's higher in California, it's higher in New
Right.
York,
Right.
but here's the
Okay.
thing. That's not a lot of money. You know what I mean?
56? 56
That's
is the average?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not a lot of money. You're talking about you're less than 60 grand, right? You're 44 years old. That's not a whole lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's lower for 25 to 34. It's 44,000. Again, these were back in 2018. I'm sure the numbers have gone up a little bit, but not much. But here's the thing here. Here's the thing. Again, we're talking about money. What's money got to do with a relationship at the end of the day? And Suzette and I were talking about this. So can we get into it was the
Scenario? You want me to drop a scenario? Okay, let me drop a scenario. So, okay, let me drop
yes.
this.
Just the first part, like what was going on, just the very first
So,
part, like what you didn't like.
FYI, I met a dude, nameless, and we're just gonna say in Miami, and we met at an event, had a great conversation after, kind of hung out at a bar, and it was like, oh, okay, really vibed him, whatever. All right. So he was like, it'd be great to hang out with you. I was like, it'd be great to hang out with you. What are we gonna do? We didn't make any plans, etc. This is Instagram, y'all. So I saw an event, a comedy show. I saw an event, and I was like, oh, this would be dope. I wonder if he'd like it. So I sent it to him. He's like, I'm not really into comedy like that. What about let's go for coffee. So I was kind of like, I invite you to a comedy show. I think there might have been more parody if he had suggested something that he enjoyed doing, because what I suggested was more like an activity. But I thought, DL, so does that mean? And so I asked DL, I was like, hey, so he don't really like me then? He just want to see what's up? Or he just is it a test? Like, what is this? And I thought, it made me think twice, like, okay. Would I go, where he lives in Miami is not close to me. So I was like, would I go meet him halfway? The event I chose, the comedy show I chose, was probably about halfway between both of us. And I thought, I don't think this man digs me like that because of the offer, the non-parody in the offer. And I thought maybe he has a budgetary issue. There's so many assumptions you can make, ladies. I don't know, and I don't want to put it out there as if that was what it was. But I was trying to figure out in my mind, am I wasting my time? Do I respond? I was just like, oh, okay, I'll let you know. And he was like, LOL, LOL. Like, is that? I think that was it. I think that was it. LOL. So your thoughts on that, DL? You think he was just genuinely not interested? Didn't want to spend a lot of money? Didn't know if he really liked me? Too far to drive to be spending up all of his gas? I don't know what it is, but just an initial. Again, we're making plenty of assumptions here. Excuse me. What were your initial thoughts coming from a man?
And before we get into this, y'all need to know when Sue calls me, it's real. I talk to her like I talk to my family. Like, it's I don't pull any punches. Like, don't call me, especially at 9 in the morning, if you ain't trying to hear the truth. Because I'm not sugarcoating
got
shit.
something to run by you. Got something to run by you. What's
yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, don't do that and expect me to sugarcoat anything. But here's the thing, when we get into this whole thing about money. And someone, I think it was last good man in Jersey, just put in the chat. Like, when we talk about money, it's always about the man being broke. We never really talk about the woman. Okay. And he has a good point. So why is that? Well, traditionally, right, it's always been that a man will court a woman. He will pursue a woman that he likes, and it costs money to pursue. And then we have this ideal of what a date should be. I mean, I don't know how you guys were raised, but I know the way I was raised. It's like, oh, you're supposed to take her out. You're supposed to pay for it. You're supposed to pick her up, bring her back when it's over. Hell, you're even supposed to go and talk to her dad How about that? Again, I'm
Old
old.
school. Let's
I'm
go.
old. You know what I mean? I had to go ask for permission. That doesn't happen anymore. We're
No.
not going to get into reasons why on this show,
Right.
but
Right.
it costs money to date. All right, cool. That's always been the accepted way. Well, things have changed. Things have changed greatly. Y'all can thank the simpletons for this. And simpleton, and you know them as simps, but the real term is simpleton. You got all these guys who run out here and they spend all this money chasing women. They lead with their wallets, right? Maybe they're confused. Maybe, this is their game, whatever, right? So when Suzette brought this to me and I was like, well, look, let's talk about how much it will cost for him to do this, which, Sue wasn't thinking about, what I mean? It's like, so he has to come pick you up. Oh, I'm gonna meet him there. All right. You guys gonna, you're gonna go to a comedy show. That's gonna cost at least $20, $25 each to get in there. You're gonna have drinks and whatever. Just for the comedy, just for that alone, just for the venue, that's gonna run you what? Close to $100, right? Okay. After the show, if things are going well, you're probably going to want to go get a bite to eat or something, right? You got to soak up that alcohol before y'all both go driving back or Ubering back or whatever it is you're going to do. So you're going to go eat. And let's say you're going to go eat somewhere, just some random cafe. Again, another $50 to $80. All right. And at the end of the night, like, oh, I had a good time. Shake your hand and walk away. It's like, listen, now it gets into what do men want versus what do women want. So the guy has to weigh out his options. And now when you bring money into it, now this is one of those red pill terms. It comes down to return on investment. People are like, what investment? What do you mean? I'm not a commodity. Like, well, if you're a young, beautiful woman, you are a commodity. Just like if you are a handsome, wealthy man, you are a commodity. It's just, this is where we're living.
Hold on. Pause. Let me read some of this chat for y'all. Kill me because again, not that I agree with what DL is saying, but it is, his right to say it, and I will gladly have the conversation as we talk about first dates and what we expect as women and what we expect as men. The commoditization of women, I'm going to come back to,
and men.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
But think about it. There's value in men who are quote unquote. What does Kevin Samuel call them? High value men, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Or I call them top tier. They are highly sought after. Therefore, they have value more so than the bottom 80.
Okay, that's 20. What you're saying. Okay. Highly sought after. Okay, let me read a couple of comments. Shout out to everybody watching. Hit the like button. Yeah, the rents and cost of living is very high. 40 TTO talking about 40K. With the potential at 40, the potential is dead. Listen, we're not judging people. People come in all, shape, sizes, and they have their reasons and seasons. So I'm always very cautious about clumping everybody together. But I understand your overall point. Sandra Nunez says the stats about men in Florida making 40K is scary. Does that mean they lack education? Well, there are educational gaps for sure as to why women are making predominantly, more large, broadly speaking.
Women are graduating from college in higher numbers than men. Men aren't even enrolling as much. Yes. Women still aren't going into STEM, but they're making more money because they have that degree overall.
Right. So there are disparities there. Southern states don't pay well. She's talking about this slavery state. Well, depends on where you are. I think city to city, but overall, yes, I do think, in the Northeast, you see a lot of higher wages. I don't know about Midwest so much. 56K with no debt is a lot of money. House and cars paid for. Let's go, says TTOO.
Not in 40, LA, my brother. Let me
I was about to say, if you're depending on where you live. And then Ebony says at 40, a person should be making, I would say Ebony at least double their age, but double their age. 40K is generously 636 after tax, says Miss AKA Lady, and $3,000 per month for living expenses, emergency housing, and transportation. So when you put it like that, what it means monthly, depending on where you live again and the cost of living of where you live, it's not a whole lot depending on the city, right? The Alaska manager, he says, I think this is really a conversation about dating broke men. I don't think men have much problem dating broke women. Facts. If they have good attitudes. Would you agree? Facts.
Okay. Dudes don't care. I mean, it's like,
you're like, I could help her. It's all good. Okay.
Not even that. It's just, okay, it is what it is. Most men will date a woman who's dropping fries at McDonald's if she's beautiful enough, and especially like you said, if she's like she's friendly, she's fun. Yeah, come on, they wouldn't hesitate. But I can't. we're talking about it right now. Like, women
Yeah.
ain't doing that.
No, no. Oh no, if you're planning these days and inviting men, you're operating in a masculine energy. Yep, men. If I'm planning, okay, excuse me. All right, men are the ones that have to plan. I hear you, sis. Thank you. Speak for yourself. I don't date broke women, says TTO. Ms. AKA Lady adds, money doesn't matter because it costs to do things. You don't have to be dripping in cash, but if you got to pull out your wallet every time we go somewhere, I would rather just go alone. So yeah, I have times where I'm like, I would definitely, and I have paid for people. I tell you, DL, like I'll pay for a pizza date or something like that. I'm not like, if you just pay for the last one, it was really expensive, I'll pay for the next one. That's how I look at it. But not everybody looks at
But
it.
here's the thing though. You're like,
Mm.
I'll pay for the pizza date. But well, wait, I paid for Mr. Childs. You paying
No,
for pizza? Like, come on
we
now.
had agreed that we was going to get pizza. I didn't choose the pizza. We had mutually agreed on pizza, but I would have. It could have been
Better be,
something
we better.
else. But
I
the
mean, all
point
right.
is, if he went high, I go the next one because I'm
I
like,
mean,
okay, that was a lot of money, right?
I mean,
Not
okay.
interested. No money. Had probably had other plans or other women in the picture when men are hunters. I hear you. Men are hunters, right? Not interested. No money. He probably had other plans or another woman in the picture. Got you, sis. Men
And
are
we
hunters.
said that too. I was like, well, what
Yeah.
is he looking for in that scenario? I'm like Sue, you are a woman of value. You are a woman of integrity. You know what I mean?
Mm,
No shade to the 304s out there. Hey man, we love
mm.
you 304s, but
Yeah.
Suzette ain't one of them.
Deal.
So this guy knows, like, I'm gonna spend all his money, I'm gonna spend all his time and effort and energy, and guess what? I won't even get a peck on the cheek at the end of the
You
night.
will get a peck on the cheek at least, but no, but no.
But you getting my point. Like,
DL
ain't
say
nobody
he
getting
ain't
their
feeling,
back
he ain't
blown
feeling.
out. Ain't nobody getting their back blown out. So it's like, what's all this money for? Yeah, let's go get that slice of pizza.
Oh
Like,
Lord,
you can drive
Lord.
up here where I
Okay.
stay.
Yeah, I can't wait to drop this link. Y'all understand where DL coming from? Unedited. Here we go. Lando says, yes, I agree with Brother DL. I really want to know podcast. I was born in the 70s too, when it was traditional, hit the like button. I'm not dating IG players. I met him in real life. I didn't reach out to him on IG. That I didn't want to give him my phone number. So oftentimes I'll say, hey, here's my IG, and I'll talk to people through IG. DL and I talk through IG. Like it's an easy way to kind of stay out of your personal business, and I don't mind using IG as a way to communicate. But it
I
wasn't a
rarely,
person that I met on
I
IG.
rarely give my number out. It's
No, me
IG
either.
all the
I
time.
don't. I always
Because
use
you can
IG.
text, you can talk, you can
Exactly.
FaceTime, you
It's
do
the
all that
perfect
on.
app.
Yeah,
It's
I
perfect for
don't give
that.
my
So you
number
could
out.
just, I'm not dealing with IG players, but thank you. Who wants a tight guy? Says Cece. Hello. We're less than $200 for this date. It wasn't gonna be that much. I would presume 100-ish. But DL was like, nah, if you want to go out for food after, then it's like a whole thing. I unfortunately keep forgetting the cost of living, yet wanted more, not looking for the need of things. If unfortunately people keep forgetting about the cost of living,
Yeah.
yet wanted more, not looking for the need of things. I hear you.
Which
Yes,
continues to go up, by the way. So you had
exactly.
me thinking about it. The price of eggs. Remember we had
Yes.
that
Yes,
conversation.
I was getting some groceries and I was like, I have to put these eggs back. That's why we did the show on inflation last Saturday with Lindell Douglas. Go back and watch it on Jamaica's.com Facebook page as well as on the SuzetteSpeaks show YouTube channel. But we were talking about that because I was in the line and I was like, how much is this? How much is that? Like, I'm going greener in my diet and I couldn't afford asparagus at $7.99 and this one at that. I was like, so I get it. I look on Eventbrite for a lot of free things because I know once we get there, we're gonna buy a little food from the food truck, we're gonna buy a couple drinks, and then you spend $50. Like I'm conscious of that on the dating market. We're not trying to run them up like some people do, right? It's ladies that date and try to run up your check. Ladies, we're gonna keep it real. I'll shout out to Uncle Stu. I appreciate you. Only equal need to apply. I appreciate you. Uncle Stu, long time, brother. Salute. Army retired in the house. Salute to Suzette. Thanks. Let's go.
What's up,
I
Uncle Sue? I
appreciate you,
see
Uncle
you,
Stu.
Airborne.
Good to see you.
Thank you for your service, brother. Thank
This
you,
is another
everyone
brother,
in here
y'all.
who served.
Yes, and you need to subscribe to Uncle Stu. He's also having some really good, mature conversations about life and about issues between men and women and how we can bridge the gap. And I really appreciate what you're doing. Shout out to his wife, Brown Eyes. They've been on my channel. We've had some great conversations about how they met. Actually, listen, if I go back into Suzette Speaks archives, y'all don't even want to know. I have so much good shows. I was looking at a show that came up. You know how I get a reminder from last year this time called Dating Your Daddy. I have to go back and put these shows back up for y'all so y'all can get the full breadth of the repertoire here. But shout out to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Check him out, please. And thank you so much for your generosity and always being so supportive over here at the Suzette Speaks show channel. So let me see. Gray Pill says 3,000 a month is 36. Yep. Navy in the building. Shout out to Navy. Shout out to Army. Everybody who has served. Thank you again for being. Let me see.
Yeah, even you, Miss
Did you freeze
Globell.
him yet? Black Lexicon. He told us last week on the inflation show, when will inflation end, that you can freeze eggs. No, I have not. I've only been buying 1 dozen. This is a girl who used to buy 2 and 3 dozen eggs at a time. I only bought 1 dozen. That thing has lasted me for a long time now. So he says, Black Lexicon said you could freeze them, and I didn't know that. I have not frozen them because I'm only buying 1 at a time. This particular moment, thanks inflations.
Hey, look, so
look at
I ain't gonna front. When I saw that, when I glanced at that in the chat, I thought he was talking about your
my
baby
eggs.
Yeah, I was like,
no,
hey, how we get here? I was like, how the hell we
no, freeze eggs, not the lady kind, not the lady parts, but real eggs. This was a conversation, inside joke. If you watched the show last week, you know, no, not that type of eggs, the real eggs. Eggs are projected to increase by another 20%. Wow, and overall food by 8% this year. I forgot the source of information. It's all right. Thank you, Doug.
We are just getting into this, y'all. Like, y'all think it's bad now. This is just the beginning. We are just now getting into
really
this.
Expensive.
Right.
So are we going to be relegated to walks in the park, DL? Is that everybody's like future?
I always start with walks in the park and ice cream dates. That's where I start. If you want to holler at Uncle Saint, and this is when I was young, I'm like, yo, let's go get some ice cream. That was always my thing. I'm not taking you to an expensive dinner at, you name the joint. I don't even know you. Like, why would I do that? And this was me back in the 80s and 90s. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean?
I said to Dio, an ice cream date as a first date is quite appropriate. I wouldn't be mad at an ice cream date. But back to the coffee. Did the coffee like me or not? Did coffee say, stop, what you doing? Because I'm about to ruin, like, maybe
coffee. Like I told you in my whole take on that. Like, you have brothers again. They know who you are. They meet you. They get to know you, and they're like, oh, this is an elegant woman. She ain't trying to smash like that. He gonna come in there and it's kind of like, feel it out. Like, man, she ain't really trying to smash. It's gonna take a hell of a lot of investment to get there. If his mission is to just smash, like he's just trying to get on like that, It's gonna take a hell of a lot of time and energy to get there. That's gonna be a lot of coffee dates, ice cream dates, picnics. Right? Am I lying, Suzette? Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, because I don't know you. I don't know you like that.
All right, so fair enough. Now you're dealing in a world where, let's say the dude has the resources. Let's say the guy's making $80,000 a year. Like, we don't know how much he's making. I don't know what his pocket is. Let's say the man, he has resources, right? Let's say he's in the top 20% of earners in his state. Well, we're talking about Florida, right? He has a lot of women gunning for him. Because he can provide those things that women tend to be looking for, the experiences, right? I think we're in an era now where women really want experiences over everything else. I'm not even sure women really want to be in committed relationships, especially the young ones. I think they want to get on the yacht. I think they want to be able to take pictures on the private jet, whether it's in the air or not. Like, just be able to. And the reason I say that, y'all, as an air traffic controller, I got a lot of friends who have jets. Right. So if I wanted to, if I was part of this generation while I was working, especially my last, my second half of my career in aviation, I mean, I had all kinds of pictures of me on jets. I was flying around in them, but it was like test flights and stuff like that and demo flights. But I could have been doing that and putting it on the gram and have people think I got all this bread. And then women come running at me because they think they can get on a jet. And then you break them. You know what I'm saying? You break their back, right? You blow their back out. And then you go on to the next one. If the this guy,
the game ladies, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it.
And don't hate the players, y'all. Hate the game, right? Because it's on both sides. Now, here's the thing with this guy. I think the guy looked at you and he thought, you know what? I'm not ready for a long-term relationship. This is just me trying to think it out. He's looking at Suzette. She's definitely a high caliber woman. She's top tier woman. She's, I'm not ready for that type of a commitment. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not in the game at that level where I'm trying to run the game and lie to her so I can get her to do these nasty things. I'm just going to move on to another easier target. That's what I think happened with this thing. And, like the whole coffee thing is like, yeah, coffee is cool. What's coffee going to do? It's nothing. We can talk whatever.
I'm not going to sit up there. My throat going to be dry. I don't even drink coffee. I drink tea.
You should have came with that accent.
trying to let me know what's going on for 2 hours. Am I belly hungry? What are we doing? What are we
That
doing?
that accent's more alluring. You should use that accent more next time. Next time, do that shit. Maybe you'll get that dinner. Like, oh, wait a minute.
I want to know what we was gonna talk about, but with my throat dry and my belly rumbling, what we gonna talk about, bro? You get, I mean, the vegan restaurant, like what, like not even the vegan restaurant, y'all. Anyway, facts. They say they Black Lexicon says today should be fun and stressless. I
For both.
agree, and that's why I always start. I look on Eventbrite for free stuff, fun stuff. I told you, board game nights, things where at a beer garden that don't cost nothing. If we order one pizza or we share this or that, a little dessert, fine. But I want to get to know you. I also want the experience. Like you said, I do think that's big for women. We want an experience. And I think for me, it's more like creating a memory. Remember the first time we went out and we went, like, I like that. And I want to get to know you. And especially when you're doing something, I think it's less pressure on both y'all to kind of keep up the conversation because you're focused on the activity. Because I find it awkward sometimes with men and they're not able to, or they're nervous even. Keep up a conversation, keep going. The coffee, I think, is more pressure because you always have to, like, it's like very, people say they don't like to feel interrogated or I ask too much questions. I don't even want to ask you all the questions. I'd rather just play a board game and I'm listening to you. I'll get to know what's going on in your mind and how you think and who you are.
That's
But if
my
you end
game.
up, pardon?
You done took my game, girl. That's what I do. I get them talking so I can listen and I'm making mental notes. I'm like, ooh, one red flag. 2 red flags. Oh, I'm out of here. 3
I surmise that a lot of men don't get a chance to just talk and share how they feel. So I rather just let you do that. But if we're on the phone and it's constantly like, well, so what is this? So what is this? It feels like I'm cross-examining. I don't want to cross-examine you. I'd rather just see you in your element, see how you react with other people around, see how you react, when you win, when you lose, when we play full, when I'm serious. That's what I want to see. But instead, they want to sit you down and drink coffee and dry out your throat and listen to you for 2 hours and your belly rumbling. Who is doing that? Am I doing that? I'm not doing that.
And again, it's now we're getting into numbers, right? Now we got to get into the bare bones of it, right? How many guys have the type of disposable income that they can do these things? And even with, like you said, the beer garden thing or the game night or whatever, that sounds cool. Or the one thing you did with the drum circle thing,
Yes.
that's cool.
I'm down for neat things that are free or low cost. Like there are times if I'm really serious about you, then we can step up to the ticket for this, ticket for that. I got this one, you get that one, whatever.
But it should never be I got this one, you got that one if it's traditional, right?
If you're serious, I think the man sets that tone, and I traditionally would want him to. But I know that as we're talking about inflation and cost of living, if I want to see you 3 times a month, that might be a lot for your budget if you don't have the disposable income. So I'm only going to see you twice every other weekend. I got you one of those weekends. That's how I feel.
Okay, but again, you see where we're going with this thing. And ladies, here's some game for y'all though, because I don't want you people to think that because I had a woman once that I met. Right, she was a beautiful woman. You know what I mean? Fit, friendly, all that good stuff. Right, feminine. And I took her to some ice cream dates, this, that, and the third. I was running my normal game. I was kind of seeing where she was. So eventually she sends me a link and she wants to go to this restaurant, right? She wanted to go to Nobu. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Nobu, but I tell you this, Nobu ain't cheap. And I was living in LA at the time. Yeah. And I was living in LA at this time. And here's the thing, I don't care. It's like someone in the chat said, if you got the bread, you're gonna go out and do you, right? So I'm no stranger to this type of lifestyle. But she sent me the link and I'm like, all right, here we go. Just when I was thinking she was cool, now she wants to go to Nobu. All right, whatever. So I was like, all right, let's go. We set it up, we'll go. We went to Nobu, we had a good time. The bill came and she went to pay. And I looked at her, right? I looked at her and she was like, no, I asked you to come here. I really wanted to see this. My friends were talking about it. I didn't want to come alone. I didn't want to bring my girlfriends. So I'm definitely going to pay because this is expensive.
Surprise,
so immediately
surprise.
I snatched the bill right out of her hand and I paid it. You know what I mean?
Is that reverse psychology? Was she really going to pay?
I think she Jedi mind tricked the hell out of me, bro. I think I fell for that shit. She hit me with that, these are not the joys you're looking for. And I was like, all right, these are not the joys that I'm looking for. Move along. I think she got my ass.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
but
well,
I got the experience
I thought that was very
wanted.
noble.
But I got the experience I wanted, though, because we had great conversation. We enjoyed ourselves. The fact that we were at a high-end restaurant didn't mean anything because we had great times at the cheap places, too. We had a great time getting ice cream and smoothies. You know what I mean? We had it was great. So I didn't mind that. And if she got me, I ain't gonna say your name.
No, don't
But,
say your name.
but
Maybe
she,
she was
but
genuinely gonna pay. Maybe she was. We're gonna give her the
nah,
benefit.
I think she got me. I ain't mad though. I ain't mad at her
He's
though,
like, no,
because I
I
had a
got you. And then the manhood came up like, no, no, I'm gonna give you.
she Jedi. I didn't know I was dealing with a real Jedi.
No,
I
I
call
love
myself a
it.
Jedi. Yeah, she's
No,
sitting at the
but
council.
she maybe she meant it, but maybe not. Okay, the last command in Jersey responded, for me, a coffee date is a test. Does this woman like me enough to go on a date that doesn't cost much money, but is still intimate? And I saw you, Miss Glow Girl was like, is the point to get to know him or is it to fill your belly? I'm just saying,
She has a great point. Great point.
consideration wise, and I saw you Black Lexicon that you said, I think I am kind of behind, that a few phone calls is actually needed before a first date. I don't
Who do
disagree,
phone calls anymore?
but people don't want to. People want to go out with you right away. So I agree with you that would actually be helpful to, if that's what you're about. Again, there's two types of dating, with the mission of relationship dating and with the mission of hookup.
Smashing.
So
And in your
smash.
case, I think the guy wanted to smash. Really, I think
Right.
he looked at it and he was like, "It's not worth it. I'm not gonna do it." And that, I mean, that speaks volumes towards you, ladies. Listen, I don't judge nobody. You want to go out there and do you, do you. You know what I mean? All I say is keep it in the closet, right? Because it does matter. Like, your past does matter, especially if you're going after these top tier guys. Like I said, plausible deniability only works if there's no proof. So don't be putting it on the gram and all that kind of stuff. Smash who you want to smash. Keep it in the closet where it belongs. You
All
know what I
right.
mean?
Where is the wisdom from TLC, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not high maintenance. I just don't understand why you would try to sit me down and talk to me for 2 hours and not give me an ice cream. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's not, the objective is not to eat my love. I just feel like Applebee's, but that's what you just.
Apple. You know what? Jay Swans wanted me to ask you that. Jay
2
Swans,
for 20.
thank you, brother Hank. Jay Swans was like, hey, when you talk to Suzette,
Yeah.
ask her if she would she mind going to Chili's or Applebee's or something like that.
It wouldn't be my first choice, but if a man initiated and say, hey, would you want to go to Applebee's or Chili's, and I liked him, I would go. I think that's more of a test than the coffee. I would go. I would go though. I would go. I wouldn't. I'd be like, Applebee's? Yeah, no. But I would go because I would consider that, Miss Globe Girl. That's my really get to know someone and not for my belly. that's to me, that's a genuine attempt of kind of getting to know you. If you take me to Applebee's, I would go. If I really like the person.
I would say the walk in the park is more of an attempt to get to know you. Applebee's can be a big distraction, man. There's always going to be something ghetto popping off in Applebee's, and you're going to see something in there that's going to take, you sitting around, your head on a swivel like, yo, they moving too fast over there, girl. What's going on?
I probably would never have suggested that. But if it's a low-key person that, again, I'm not trying to run up his bill, I'm trying to get to know him, and he suggests Applebee's, I'm going to be down. I'm not, in my mind, that is a get-to-know-you effort, like a walk in the park. It's Applebee's. But I'm not going to say I would suggest, oh, let's go to Applebee's. That's not me. But if that's what he suggested, coffee is my Applebee's.
The coffee date dude, I bet you, and I think I told you on the phone, if you hit him up right now, be like, yo, what's up? Let's get together, come through. He'll come through because he's thinking that, all right, now she's with my program. She's going to let me do this. You know what I mean? He'll only do it once. And then, right. But I'm just saying that's the point. So you got to be careful when you're going after the guys who have a lot of options. You have to be careful because their mission may not align with your mission. You're looking for long-term commitment. They're looking for someone.
No, they're looking for quick and go. No, that's why I was like, okay, good assessment. Thank you for that, because I'm looking at him differently. What about a picnic? I think a picnic is very sweet. I talked about that again last Saturday. That's how this show also came up when we were talking about inflation. A young man years ago took me on a picnic date to Alita State Park up there in, I think that's North Miami. And it was the sweetest. Even though I don't eat bologna, he tried to make bologna and cheese sandwiches. I wanted to drink. He brought a bottle of wine, but then when he saw I didn't eat the bologna, he didn't open the wine.
Hold on. So this man brought bologna sandwiches to a picnic.
He was trying his best. We were younger. It was younger. I thought it was sweet.
That's some pimp-tastic pookie if I ever heard of anything.
He's not a boogie. No,
his move was pimp-tastic pookie. Yeah, bologna. Did he at least fry? Did he fry the bologna? Did he at least fry it up?
Listen, at that time, I think this guy right now works in like international relations. He's a smart dude. He just didn't have the bread at the time. I explained week. His car was messed up. I even had to go get him to go to the date. But he's not a Pookie and Ray Ray. I think he's dating this girl right now. I think she's from South Africa. Really nice girl too. Not that I keep up, but the point I'm trying to say is he wasn't a Pookie Ray Ray. He just was again in a valley. And then we'd already made plans, and he was just like, "I'm so sorry, my car's messed." I was like, "I'll come get you." And he was like, "Okay, I'll make a picture show." Oh, he was trying to. I'm there. Struggle stream. He was trying to show, I can take initiative, even though right now my pocket ain't long. It was really sweet.
I mean, that is sweet, but I mean, and again, like I said, that was the.
I can't
Why
hear you,
not go with
Gio.
peanut butter and jelly? Oh, you can't hear me? You
No, I
can't
can
hear
hear you.
me?
I can hear you. You can't trick my
I
mind
don't.
so
I
he
mean,
can win our chess game.
yeah, because that thing, and yeah, I like this right here, Miss Globe Girl.
If I'm doing all the talking on a date and he's just listening, I'll probably say that we're not a match. This is true, or that he's only there for one thing.
I
That's
like to
that's
I like to let women talk. If I'm gonna break it down, like 65% of the conversation, I like it to be her. And there's an art to it. Like you have to know how to engage. And I tell this to a lot of these young guys I talk to. I'm like, bro, you know what I mean? Even if you have like you're over 6 feet and you're fit and you have some money, you still have to get your social game up. You have to know how to engage in conversation, period. So she's absolutely right. There are dudes out there who are just, they can't talk. They don't know what to do. And they get the beautiful woman and she goes out, she agrees to have dinner, they go have dinner or whatever, they go to the park or whatever, and he doesn't say a word. And then she's just like,
that's
okay,
weird.
bye.
That would be a turn off automatically. Miss AKA Lady, good question, says first dates ain't gotta cost much. But what happens after? How limited does the fun have to be? Do you live alone? What's your credit looking like? What about the conversation? These are important questions that need to come up. Um, Whoa, Black Lexicon. I don't know about this one. Is this a strange date? Taking a woman to your favorite thrift shop to see if she believes in being frugal and can recognize.
It's funny, you know what? Here's the
I
thing.
like thrifting, honestly. I like thrifting.
If a woman's into you, you could take her to the local playground and sit in the sandbox and make sandcastles, and she's gonna love that if she's into you. Like, but if she's not into you, if she's looking for like that experience,
To come up. Yeah.
if she's working on a finesse, nah, she ain't gonna have that. And like I said, most of the women, you know what I mean, with the baby hair splatted on their face and the long nails and all that kind of stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I gotta tell y'all the truth, man. Get them the Venus flytraps on your eyelashes, your eyes, man. Cut all that out. If
Leave the
that's who
lashes
you
out of
take it,
this.
listen. If your eyelashes can catch a fly, man, they too long, yo. Like, don't do that. And here's the thing: if you're dealing with that caliber of woman, you already know what time it is. Like, okay, the game is on now. If you're a simpleton, right, you're gonna lose. She's gonna wreck you because you've already fallen for the thirst trap. You're all over her Instagram, DMing and this, that, and the third. But if you got a little game and you know what she's trying to get, you might be able to you might be able to smash her that night. And that's the difference. You know what I mean?
Pause. Thank you for that insight, DL Saint. Thank you for your Cash App. I appreciate you can't support the stream. It get kind of red pill around here when DL comes through. So again,
what's red pill about that?
Not everything I necessarily agree with, but maybe I need to hear it. So I'm not going to prevent the sharing of open conversations. I'm going to drop the link. We're going to talk about Jonathan Majors, y'all, and the Rihanna covers in just a sec.
And before you do that though, there's some numbers I did want to run for if I could. Let me know when you're ready. Let me know when you're ready.
You go, and I'm going to put up different comments. Go ahead.
This book right here, right? The Book of Numbers. This is definitely out of the red pill space, the manosphere space. The author of this book is Aaron Clary. This book talks about how much money men normally spend in the pursuits of women in a lifetime, right? And I'm not gonna read a bunch of it, but I'm just gonna cut to the chase, right? So from age 18 to 78, and this is based on a guy pursuing women, getting married, actually getting divorced. There are two numbers I'm gonna run by you. So a guy who gets divorced and continues to pursue women over his lifetime will invest $260,000 to pursuing women, right? And let's say he gets married and doesn't get divorced, he still would have invested $148,000 over his lifetime chasing women. Now, am I saying don't chase women? I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is be smart with that investment. That's a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of money. We're not talking about, we're not adding for inflation, we're not doing anything. That is a lot of money. And people are like, come on, DL, man, you tripping right now, bro. Really? But the average, what is the average date? You know, what is the average cost of a first date or date in America, right? And I found some numbers, and this was back in 2018, I think, 2018 or 2020. And we'll use Miami. The cost of a date in Miami, Florida, they have it at about $125, right? Like just the cost of a date, right? And then men are always going to be chasing mad women. Women don't chase men, right? Let's keep it 100. Women don't, generally speaking, chase men. So think about that. If a guy goes on 5 dates a month, right? That's look at that. Like, come on now, that's what, $600 or something like that for the month, maybe a little bit over. And these are just averages. If you're trying to be impressive, you want to go to Mr. Jones or Mr. Joe's, I think it's called, or you want to go to Komodo down in Miami and you buying a bottle, you're looking at $1,100. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go to the neighborhood juke joint and buy a bottle, you're still looking at $400 or $500, right? So, and I'm not saying those are bad things. I bought bottles. I want to go out and have a good time. I bring my friends and women I'm trying to pursue and people that I already know. I don't mind that. I love Mr. Chow's. They know me when I walk in there. That's how often I'm in Mr. Chow's in Miami. They still know me at the one in Beverly Hills. So I love those kind of things, but it costs money. And let's not get away from that. Ladies, it costs a lot of money to pursue y'all. You know what I mean? So guys are simply looking at their investments now and they're trying to get more bang for their buck, so to speak. So, you know what I mean? And that's a pretty good book, y'all. Not that I'm pushing Aaron Clary. I thought that was a really good book. When I read that, it was very interesting. It was very eye-opening. When you look at how much money you spend pursuing women, you know, he started at 18. I mean, the first time I paid for a date, I was 16. And I was working, you know, I had my little money that I was working from the restaurants. You know what I mean? When took her out on a little date. Where did we go? We went to like probably the equivalent to it was Ponderosa, as a matter of fact. That's where I took her.
I remember Ponderosa.
I'm in high school. Me and her at Ponderosa. I'm like, go ahead, girl, get you some extra. Go on and get you some extra off the little table. Get some extra corn.
What's the book again, please? Says Davia. Nice to meet you, Davia. Glad you're watching. Davia, possibly.
The book of Numbers. Here it is right here. The book of Numbers. And it's Aaron Clary is the author. This guy's like, he's a numbers dude, right? He was blogging and stuff like that. He was on this well before there was an internet and all, like this YouTube and all that. He's been talking about this forever. You know, well known in the manosphere spaces. But overall, like, say what you want to say about the red pill and all that kind of stuff, but there's some pretty good information, some things to make you go,
yeah.
You know, when it comes to that. I guarantee you this, Suzette. Yeah. How much money do you think you have spent on dates pursuing men?
I don't know. Like since the beginning of the year, I have
since you were 18. Since you were 18.
I don't a lot, but not like, because again, I let them show and then I show. So I'm not a person that necessarily has to have him pay for everything, but it's not going to be like, I don't know. I don't know how
even what you said wouldn't even qualify, because you said them show first. So they are pursuing. Remember, the question is, how much money have you spent in pursuit of a significant other? And and I would argue less than $1,000 over your adult life. You know?
Pursuit of is a different. Yeah.
Ladies in the chat, one's in the chat. If you've taken more than 10 men out on a first date, one's in the chat. If you've ever taken more than 10 men out on a first date.
If you haven't, put a 2 for me, please. I generally don't offer. I didn't know this gentleman, right? So we had met one time, only had an Instagram contact. So I wanted to open it up so that he knew I was interested if he wanted to pursue something. So that's why I said, okay, I saw this kind of short of his neck of the woods. Let me send it to him, see if he was actually interested or if it was just a one good conversation, whatever. And then I got that response. No, I really want to address this, not triggered by it, but I just wanted to address this. And on this says, was I looking up dudes? You know what was so funny? Because that dude came to mind and I spoke of him last Saturday on that last Saturday show. I did look him up. So this is not somebody.
A lot of twos in the chat, sis.
Said they have paid for first dates?
A lot of twos.
No, they haven't.
They haven't. They have a
Thank
lot of
you.
tools.
All right, ladies, we on the same page. Now I was gonna say because his he came to mind. I looked at, I was like, I wonder where he is. You ever had somebody come up in a conversation and then you go see, I wonder what they're doing. That's how I know what he's doing. I didn't know before last Saturday what he was doing, but thank you very much. But I thought, oh, he has a good life. I'm happy for him. But we still
See,
wouldn't have been compatible. Don't worry about that.
CCH has something in the chat that says broke people shouldn't be dating. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, what? Why? You know what I mean? Like, it's because here's the thing: not only men are broke. Like, there are a lot of broke women out there. I can't tell you how many times I've gone out on dates with women. I'm like, yo, I know you were broke. Like, come on, like I know you were broke. Like, but they're still proud women. I'm not talking about the ones out there trying to run the finesse. I'm talking about just real women. Like I've gone on dates before with women. It's like, hey, let's go out, and they're kind of like what Miss AKA lady was saying. Like, at least have enough money to get back home, kind of thing, right? So, but she agreed to go out with me. We went out, but something had happened, and her money was really messed up. Like, she knew at the time, like on Monday it was good to go out on Friday, but Friday got here and something came up and she lost. She didn't have any money, and she didn't want to back out of the day. She's like, I wanted to keep my word, but she didn't have. She
The
was worried the
funds.
whole night because
Oh,
she like,
wow.
if this man leaves me, I don't know how I'm gonna get home.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we talked
You
about it
shouldn't be
after.
that as a woman. I would agree. If you at that stage where you couldn't pay to, get home if something happened, you really shouldn't be out on that date. My opinion. But the other
She
women,
definitely should have canceled, but she like, I didn't want to flake on you, and she saw me as a good
uh,
prospect.
yeah,
She
yeah,
was like, I
yeah.
knew if I flaked on you, you would probably never talk to
If
me
I
again.
can't pay for the Uber back, I'm not going. So
Well,
we got
again,
it this way.
this
Oh,
was old
before
school.
that too.
I picked her
You
up.
figure
I
okay.
picked her up. But her
Um,
point was, if something goes wrong, I'm not gonna be able to, because she was living in like LA, close to East LA, and we were in Santa Monica for dinner. So she was like,
mm,
for y'all who don't know, but that is like
good distance.
eternity.
Yeah, good
Like
distance.
that distance, especially in LA with traffic and stuff like that. And a cab ride was just before Uber. A cab ride would have been $100+. So she was just like, I'm so glad you're a nice man,
Oh
and
Lord.
she just told me, she
Good.
was like, if you'd have left me there, I'd have been stuck. And
Ooh.
I respected her for that, but I was like, babe, you should never put yourself in that situation though. That's what if I was an asshole? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she learned from that, hopefully. This
Hopefully.
comment here, Miss Globe Girl, this I called the guy out on this earlier this year. He was like, I want to go to the beach. I was like, you what, you want to see me in a bathing suit? Like I'm quick to be like, okay. But it has to be right. Like the vibe has to be right. Is it at night? Is it windy? Is it too hot? I'm like, first of all, no, and the weave I had on, you remember I had them black crochet braids? I was like, this hair cannot get wet. So no, we cannot go to the beach. He was laughing at me, but I kind of didn't want to go with him anyway because I kind of knew the vibe was already kind of like hypersexual. So I was kind of like, bro, I'm not going to no beach with you. I'm not on that vibe with you. But I was like, nope. That I thank you for the offer, but no, have someone else go. Frolic, I think, is what he wanted to do on Miami Beach. But
How many women you think he made that offer to during that same weeks, that time span? Like, he out
plenty, probably.
at least five, right? So
Plenty.
one of them was down for the
Yes,
beach.
might have gone, and that's
Right.
fine, and that's the 100%. I don't think he was a good dude anyway. I was kind of like, my vibe was off from him, so I wasn't going to stretch myself to do anything that I didn't want to do. So in my heart, I was already like, this is not a good dude. He might be having a bad day. I don't know if he's, talking crazy, but he had a little bit of an attitude, and I was thinking, no. Moody doesn't work for me. XDMC, what up? In the building said, one love to the chat and the panel. When I asked my wife out, I asked her to pick the place. She knew I was in college and didn't have money. She picked a Jamaican spot. Hey, in Brooklyn. We've been married 33 years now. I think,
That's what's up.
ladies, do you pick according to what you think the guy's pocket is? That is another thing. Because if you meet a man and he's like, works, and no disrespect to any industry, construction, or I don't know, some other kind of technical job versus a corporate or white collar job, do you pick your restaurant or do you pick your activity based on the man's perceived pocket, or do you let him just do his thing? I'm curious about that. Shout out to Rosalind, I see you. Like Lexicon still talking about a thrift shop. I'm sorry, I'm behind. They're a gold mine. A lot of women keep yard and estate sales. Yes, 100%. I find some good stuff, especially if you go north, like Palm Beach. Them thrift shops got a lot. I'm talking about clothes with tags on them that are really high end. Thrift does not necessarily mean equate to frugality. Thrifting is a hobby. Yes. Okay. Cool. CC caring about smashing pots. My wife and I built what we have together. Amen to that. Shout out to Damon. You got the book. All right. Cece says, my last date, the dude had no conversation, but very talkative over WhatsApp. I'd be wondering if they just be copying and pasting this stuff to like 10 people and whoever responds to those same things. Because I know people that did that with dating apps. A cousin of mine, not calling anyone out, was doing that. I'm talking about ladies copying and pasting like 100 people the same messages, and maybe 10 respond, and then those 10 get another message, and then maybe 5 respond, and then he would get that one person. It was really like, as they say, a numbers game. But I thought it was atrocious, but people did that, and it was, again, I always assume guys are talking to more than one person.
I
So
mean, social media has definitely destroyed the dating game and the rules of engagement as I knew it. Like I don't, people like, oh, what apps are you on as far as dating? I'm like, I don't do that. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like you said, there are guys out there that are
yeah,
talkative online, but then you meet them in person and they're just, a block of wood. Same thing with women. You know what I mean? Like these young women out here, they just, if you take away their ability to thirst trap, in other words, like, okay, you sitting here in front of me and you're looking at me and I don't care about your body and you know that. Okay, now what? Right now what? I'm trying to hear what's really on your mind, shorty. You know what I mean? And I
exactly.
see that there's nothing there. We're
If I
moving
start
on.
talking and then I think it's a big tell as well. I dated a guy recently. Oh, I love smart women. Sir, I'll just know that you're smart if we just have a good conversation. And I'll know that you respect what I'm saying if we just have a good conversation. But when we actually started to have those conversations, he was way out of his league. So, I like to talk politics and I like to talk this. And I'm like, we're broad. So when as soon as I realized this is a sinking conversation, let me get out of it for him and for
Yeah.
his benefit, he
Start
kind of
talking
got
cartoons. You start talking about cartoons or something.
no, he was getting snarky. I was like, wow,
What?
it's not
Yeah.
because I'm trying to, you say you like what I like, but no, you don't know nothing about what I like. So it can get uncomfortable. That's what I'm saying. Like, even with the amount a person makes, I'm more concerned with what exposure that allows them. Because if we don't have the same amount of exposure, it can be odd, awkward. Okay, the two's in the chat, two's in the chat, two's in the chat. Never. Hermes, addict, how are you? And again, nice meeting you too, Davia. What's up? Wonderful. I thank you so much for your Cash App. Appreciate you. What's going on? What about trustworthy, faithful, wise, honest, prudent, and all that other
Wonderful
stuff?
34 was good, fam. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Rosalind. I'm learning so much with this show. Okay, we're doing work here. My last LTR, what was last LTR? Was my high school sweetheart. With long-term relationship was my high school's. Wow, we lasted a few years on and off. I hear you, sis. It's hard out here because again, signals that we were taught are not what the marketplace kind of, they don't have the same meaning to men and to women. What are some signals that show you that a man is really interested or just wants a smash deal? What's the difference? What are the signals we should be looking out for?
I mean, everyone's game is unique to that person. So there are dudes who have mastered the ability to give you those signals that I'm in love with you. You're like the perfect woman for me. This is going to be long term. He'll sell you that Tinder swindler, lover boy mystique, smash you, and be on his way. That's his game. So it's I would say it's impossible to answer that question because everyone is different. Just like with women, you can't tell necessarily which woman is running the finesse and which woman is serious. I mean, every Friday nights, people who follow me on my platform, or if you see me on Melanie King, shout out to Mel. You see me on her platform. Every Friday I go out dancing. Right, that's one of the things. I'm old, y'all. What do old people do when they get old? I guess they go dancing. I ain't no exception. You know what I mean? 52 years old in there, but it's a Latin spot, right? So I was dancing. I saw this woman. I could tell like, oh, she's not some young girl, but very beautiful, right? She walked by and I, said hello. She said hello back. By the end of the night, we were dancing, and it was a great encounter. It was a great encounter. I'm like, wow, I
You was doing
cannot
what? The
wait.
salsa, merengue, or bachata? Which one was
All
it?
three. We were out there for a long
Let's
time. We were
go.
out there
Let's
for a long
go.
time. So, and here's the thing. It was, if I were to base our quote unquote future on that encounter, I could get hurt because she could be the type of woman who've mastered the
Mm,
ability to sell the feminine and say the right things and do the right things. Just like I could be the type of guy who have mastered the the ability to sell you on an experience. You
Mm,
feel me? So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, don't hate the players, hate the game. Understand male and female nature. A red flag, you know what I mean, may not be as blatant as you think it is. You have to sit back and be subtle and listen and pay attention. Right. And again, this is the game we in. It sucks. And the game has gotten even tougher when you with technology.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's tough. Everybody's talking about everybody. If you go on Instagram right now, tell me who's broke and who's not broke.
No, you don't know. You
You
don't know. Cover the
right. And,
game.
and, and people are starting to be able to fool you in real life for a short-term period to
Yeah.
i.e. get what they want. Either they want to smash or get what they want if they want the money. You
I
know what I
knew
mean?
people who borrowed friends' cars. I know people who shout
Borrow
out to you,
people
brothers.
boats. Like I said, I know guys with
Yes.
jets. I know
I know
people with
people
jets
with cute apartments or condos on the water in Palm Beach that
taking
are their
pictures.
homeboys, and they would bring girls back there.
Yeah.
And it was like, again, young gal, you was like, oh girl, he live on the water, girl. That's not his place. That's my homeboy's place. And he let people stay there and people come back to these fancy looking places. I've seen online, and again, I don't know how true the stories are, that this girl, it was on Instagram. I was wondering, like, I'm like, is this true? Was being taken to an Airbnb that a guy was claiming was his house. So she wouldn't think to go Google on Airbnb, like, or to think that it was an Airbnb. Let's read some of these. But she thought he was living nice, and it was an Airbnb, right? So let's start there. There are a lot of deception. There's a lot of deception going on, and a lot of deceivers, unfortunately, in the dating game. So I agree with DL. It's hard to see what is real and what is not, and what our expectations should be. I've dropped the link if y'all want to come up and talk. Dating ain't gotta cost the era, says Cece. Let me catch up a little bit on the chat. The man has to lead. Show me you know how to lead and ask me out and pay for this first damn date.
She's right though, and I did want to say that someone was
Yes.
saying that you guys were like, oh, the guy said pick a place. No, the guy should the guy should not defer that to the woman, because you were asking like, well, hey ladies, do you pick a place based on what you think he makes and this, that, and the third?
People ask me all the time, where do I want to go? And I feel bad. I'm like, I don't want to pick something that's too expensive. I don't want to pick something too cheap.
Men ask you to pick a place. It's a shit test. They're trying to see what type. It's a shit test. They're trying to see if you're trying to run a finesse or not.
Oh.
Especially if it's a guy who has means. Why would I ask a woman to pick a place on the first date for me?
And I agree. I feel awkward. I don't know. I always try to find something again that's like maybe lower cost, $30, a ticket on Eventbrite or less, or something that's enjoyable to do so we could actually have interaction. So I don't know. It's weird,
next time a dude asks you to pick a place, take him to my favorite restaurant in Miami, man. Yeah, all right, we're going to Miami Beach. We're going to Mr. Chow's. You know what I mean? Tell him if you want to ask me where I want to go, that's where I want to go.
Expensive.
Then don't ask me. Men should pick based on that. He knows how much he has. He knows how much he's willing to spend. He can easily pick up the phone and Google.
100%,
you know what I mean?
100%.
So now put that test right back on him.
And just say wherever you want to go. Okay.
Wherever you want to go. Now I want you to pick a baby. Bet. Have you ever heard of Nobu? Have you ever heard of Mr. Childs? You know what I mean? That's where we're going. We're going to Cardones. You know what I mean? That's where we're going. We're going to Carbones or you know what I mean? What is it? Dirty French. I want a good steak. We going there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's so scary, y'all, to know what is real and what is just hookup culture and where to spend your time and invest your time or money, right? Men don't want to get got. Women don't either. But it's a lot of, foolery to cut through. And I don't know if we have all the answers here, but it's interesting to share stories so we can learn from one another. Money is a form of security, says Miss AKA Lady, right? If I need to leave immediately, I'm out. It's unsafe to be out there without any ladies. Yep, agree with that. Facts. CC said my beach day was cool. Not going in the water, just chill in the sunset. I like that. I like a poolside. There's a lot of rooftops down here with pools and things like that where you could just go have a drink and listen to some good music. But only thing sometimes the music is loud. So what do you like? Like I hate that. I always feel like
that's why I start texting. When it's loud like that, I just pull out my phone and start texting.
I'm like, either we're gonna have to go all the way away from the speaker or something, because this makes no sense. I can't hear anything you're saying. I'd rather a free date than Applebee's Olive Garden. They still on this. My sisters was like, I'd rather a walk in the park. Do not take me to Chili's, Apple Garden, Applebee's.
Listen here. This woman right now.
Any of these that I mentioned here.
This woman right here, Hermes addict. Come on now. This woman probably got
Exactly.
she
She
probably
not
got
having it.
burgers in
She
the
like,
house
I
now. Come
would
on.
rather walk around a park than to give.
You can't hang your Birkin on a hook inside of
No, on a
Chili's. Are
hook
you
on the
serious?
with the cheese sticks and with the
Right.
breadsticks and the endless salad. But I don't like
Yeah,
things.
you go,
But there
sis.
are
I
many
love
pure
that.
low cost. But that's what I think. That would be cheap. Like give me a vegan spot that's cheap. You know, affordable to you. You're not spending more than $30 instead of maybe
Vegan
the
is a
two for
hustle.
20.
You know, vegan is a hustle. We talked about that. Vegan
I
is a
know,
hustle.
but I'm just saying the
I wish you know. I wish
creativity
you.
is like weird. Yes, I rather a man to pick the location. He needs to take the lead and pick the location. Miss Gold Girl, I hear you. I asked the guy to choose his favorite spot whose food he will vouch for, and it's always a way to get to know him a little bit better. I hear you. Hermes Addict says these Asian women stay hitting on my husband through WhatsApp. I find him through. I did you? They find him through LinkedIn. Same thing
Yeah.
happens with me on LinkedIn and the other social media. Is that how they do it? What's up,
Yes.
Andrew? What's good? Andrew Walker in the building. Glad to have you, brother. Having a very fun and interesting conversation. Glad you guys are busy in the chat, giving us your feedback. Said I've been married for 25 years. Denny and Waffle House was some of my favorite dating spots, but you were in college. But yes, I agree with that. It does not have to be break, especially when you're very young. That's not, we got to be serious if we're taking real dates that cost a good amount of money, I think.
Hermes Addict, you got to jump on. You got to come on, join the panel, sis.
You
Come
talking
join the
about
panel.
scam like talking about bailamos. Did the rhythm
Yeah.
take you over? Dia be out there. Te
Yeah,
quiero,
I'll be
mama
listening. Nah,
mio,
that's
bailamos.
it. Yeah, I'll be listening to Final All Stars, you know what I mean? Hector
Te
Lavoe
quiero.
and Ruben Blaze. You know what I mean? Old school
Yes.
with it.
I love what's his name? Is it Juan Carlos Guerra?
Yes.
I like him. I like old school.
And people
Um
talk about, here's the thing too when it comes to dating. And y'all let me know in the chat what y'all think about this. What I've noticed is in the Latin culture, like we're talking about when you go into these type places and you're sharing in their culture and you're doing that dance. Not only is this fun, but you meet some cool people. Like everyone's shield is down. You're having a good time. You're talking. You're dancing. Yeah, there are a couple weirdos in there, but not many. But when you go into like a mainstream kind of thing or a black thing or hip hop or whatever, everyone guards are up, and
yeah.
it's really difficult. Like even the approach, like I know I go up and talk to women at the bar, and and they're right away. Oh, you a player? You a player? Why? Because I know how to hold a conversation.
Yeah,
I
it's
just said
weird.
hi.
The vibe in
Yeah,
some of our spaces. That's why I like the Eventbrite. Look for different type of activities where I'm sure it's going to be a mix of people, and people who would go there would have a certain elevated mindset. That's what I look for. Like when I do the drumming or when I do this or when I'm like people who would be into an eclectic. I'm like either sometimes I'm like okay, if I think it's going to be too much of like maybe a couples event, I'm not going to go. But I think if somebody were looking for something unique, like me, I want to try new things. So if they're there as a single person, you probably would have something in common. That's my thought. Dating, first date chronicles. Does anybody want to come up and share their first dates or anything that happened to them that made them question themselves or life as a
please
whole?
do. Any married people out there that want to tell us how your husband managed to get you from females, and for men how you managed to get your wife? I would love to hear those stories. And how old?
Yes.
I'm curious too. I have a theory I've been working on.
Mm,
Um, I think your chances of having a successful relationship, when I'm talking about marriage and long term, the younger you are, I think the higher your chances of being successful
I
are.
agree.
Is because I'm trying to, but it is what it's tough. But I'm just looking at it. I'm like, man, the people I know that got married in their young 20s are still married today. Then the people I know that got married in their 30s and 40s, they're on their second, third, fourth marriage.
Well, it depends because some of my young married friends got divorced by 30. So it
And then
was for
okay, yeah,
me, either they was really successful or they had to like get out of it by 30. Cody is King says, I'd say he is asking about your morals and future interests like kids, family, and such. No guarantees though. So if those are some questions that are popping in, okay, Cody, thank you. About what you want in your life long term, still could be game, but more, I guess, indicative of a person that might be wanting more. Thank you for that. Yes, I love this. Hermes Addict says, yes, I'm married, so I take my husband on extravagant, expensive dates and trips, and he does the same for me. I love the reciprocity. That's wonderful.
Hermes,
Um,
can I ask this real quick question, sis?
yeah.
Who makes more? And you don't have to answer if you don't want to. I understand that. But do you out earn your husband? Does he out earn you, or is it equal? I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
Okay. If you want to, love, because speaks are getting smaller, the depreciation. I don't know if I'm reading the depreciation value of the ones I would have survived, but if I found the value I spent the time I could. Probably. Okay. Thank you, Black Lexicon. Tricks are for kids. I was just, I have to assure myself of your intentions before I treat you. I'm not a sex seeker. Hello. This is why you have to speak to your date and see what they like. True, true, true. Exactly, they said. I agree with Andrew. Please communicate first. You have 11 arrests, really? Girl, good for you. I
Oh,
like
you know
dating.
what? That's an amazing investment too, by the way.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
no,
know
they
that
go
about that.
go up. They go up in value.
Hermes, especially Birkin. If you get certain types
Yeah.
of Birkin, I have my cousin bought. I forget which bag it was exactly, but she bought the bag and the thing went up 10K in like
Oh,
5 months because you can't get it. It's a rare bag.
exactly.
And then
Yes.
I'm gonna actually have her on the show later on this year to break it down because that whole game and Miss Hermes Addict. I'm gonna make sure you on that show with us in the chat at least. I had no idea the kind of numbers behind that Birkin game, the purse game in general, and the investments. Someone was telling me like Drake has an extensive collection of Birkin bags, and they've all gone up in value. So it's kind of like collecting expensive
Investments.
watches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic cars. Chicago Rilla in the building says, I'm so glad I'm out of the dating market. Y'all wild. Oh my goodness. I can only imagine what we are all experiencing collectively because I can tell you what I've been experiencing. I've met nice guys at Star Trek conventions.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
Comic Cons. I
Oh
told you
yeah, who
that.
said that? No, the Blurred show, the show that we did on Black Nerds. The Blurred said who said they was gonna come with me in a costume and we was gonna go to the Comic Con to meet somebody at the Comic Con or one of those. Hey 40 Boom, good to see you. Hermes Addict says, me too. I'm so glad I'm out here. Out here. I'm not out here, excuse me, dating. My husband and I always say this. Yeah. Knew my wife from high school. Yeah. Married at the age of 24. Yeah. You guys married at 25. Yeah. Lucky for y'all. We connected. Hey Reese, good to have you. Hope you're having a wonderful. I know it's cold. They said it's a cold front, right? From Cali to the Midwest, two storms colliding. So if you guys are up north in the United States, pray you're having a safe and somewhat warm inside day. Yeah, sometimes you get tired of front end. That
Yeah,
goes on with
it's a
dating.
brisk 81 up here in Tampa.
I know, right? I'm like 78 right now.
Ooh,
Uh,
78. Ooh,
we
better put a
go
jacket
back
on.
exactly. We go back and forth. Okay, we go back and forth. Last year it was me. This year before the year before, I can't read today. It was him. I think now he's about to take the lead again in earnings. Oh wow! Oh, I'm on the earnings side. We go back and forth.
Says, can you
Last year
come up
she
here?
earned more. This year, the year before, he earned more. But I like that though. Scratch one on his back. The
Says,
dynamic is not all about money. I like that.
is
Go
it
sis.
possible you could
Don't
come
put
up?
all your business
Says,
out here if you don't want
no,
to, love. But
yeah,
that's
no,
okay.
don't push it. But I think a lot of people need to hear that. I got so many questions. I guess I'll ask them. You can answer in the chat. I mean, how important was it for you, your husband's earning potential when you met? I'm assuming you guys met when you were younger. I mean, what was that like? I mean, because
But 25 is different from 35. Is different from 45. She said she got married at 25, so that means
you got married at
they met
25. So she chose wisely. There it is
Yeah,
right there. Got married at 25. So
yeah.
I don't think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, sis, but I don't think that money
At
really
that
played
age,
at
it's
the,
really
yeah.
about the person. That's the benefit of marrying that young because
So
it's
going
really
back to
about.
being broke. So why shouldn't broke people date?
Well, in your 20s, I think everybody's broke. So I think broke people should date definitely from the college age to probably up to what 30. You're just figuring out your life. You're working at the what was I going to say telecom companies. You're working, you're doing your education, you're getting your master's, you're getting your undergrad, whatever you're doing. You're not going to have a lot of means. So I think that's the most pure time where you're looking at a person's real true self without all the trappings of the apartment he got. I know guys that, oh gosh, they run game down in Miami. They have the best apartments looking over the cityscape, downtown Brickell and all this. And when they get women there, it's the game. It's to show you where I live. I've had guys, oh, I want you to know where I live. I really don't know, and I don't really want to know where you live. Yes, you're probably looking to, as DL will say, hit. But the point I'm looking at is I don't want to know you for what you have. I really just want to know if I even like you first. Then we can go to that. But then so many people skip that step, end up, first of all, as DL will say, getting gotten in more ways than one because they trying to see what the man have. I really don't care. I really at the initial stage, I really just want to see if do I really like you before I get caught up in I like what I see or I like what I believe because again, a lot of it is made up. You may have, and I think a lot of especially younger women, but it can be any woman can get caught up in the feeling like that's an old school player deal. I had a guy I thought I was meeting him. This was like downtown Hollywood, Florida. And he is like, oh, no, I'm meeting my realtor. I want you to see the property I'm about to buy. Bruh.
Hey, you already
We
you
came,
saw.
we came here to eat, and you want to wait. And now I got to be doing property, holding up my hand. The realtor think we together. The neighbors think we a couple. I'm like, I just came down here to eat, bro. What's going on right now? Like, obviously to get to know you, but it's not. The game was strong. I was like, yeah, he want me to be like, wow,
Nah,
wow,
that's weak game right there. If you
wow.
fellas,
Look at
if you
this.
out there and they can see through your game like a window, you need to work on that game.
It was terrible, but I mean, he was really nice. But I already knew from that play, I was like, this ain't go, this ain't nobody that I want to be with, or want to be with me long term. This is game 100%. And he was mad. It was so funny that I had said, I don't think we should see each other anymore, and he kept insisting that I see him one last time. And I thought it was like, you want to be the person to pull the plug. The plug's already pulled, bro. Like, what are we doing here? But it was the weirdest, not weirdest. It was the most obvious game ever. But yeah, I don't know if that's happened to you. First date stories, guys. How much should you be spending? Who should be paying? Good and bad chronicles. Things that you remember that probably was like, hey, I would never do that again. Salute everybody. Scam likely, Rilla, 40 boom, everybody in the chat. Andrew says, stop it. We all date for something. It can be for the hookup, love, I guess, and or both. I date with a purpose. When should I back off of someone? Should we put a limit on spending on people? So what's the most you would spend on a first date deal?
About $15. Depends on what ice cream store we go to. I'm not going to those you know what I mean? They got those designer ice cream parlors now. I stay out of those places.
We can't even go to Cold Stone.
Cold Stone ain't one of them. We go to Cold Stone. There's some designer ice cream places out there. They'll have like exotic ice creams from all over the place with insects in them and stuff like that.
I'm not gonna be going on that. So there's another one, Kilwins. Do they have Kilwins in Tampa?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
On the beach here, I love Kilwins.
Yeah,
I love their ice cream.
So you just go and get you some sherbet or whatever. You know what I mean? There were like in LA there was I can't think of the name of it right now. Help me out in the chat. Anybody from California? What's the name of the smoothie joints? The big smoothie joints came out of San Luis Obispo. Yeah, it came out of San Luis Obispo. It's the dominant smoothie place out there. It used to be one here in Tampa at the airport, and I think they got rid of it.
Smoothie King? No, I don't know.
It's better than Smoothie King. And they used to have one in Miami in Brickell when I lived there in 2009, right next to Smoothie King. And the one I'm talking about went out of business. They're strong on the West Coast, not so strong out here.
I don't know. Somebody help us out in the chat.
Yeah, they'll let me know in the chat. Somebody will tell me in the chat.
We met at 25. We were both broke AF. We were both folks who were written off. Wow. And we built each other. Shout out to y'all.
That's who you need to do a show with right there. That's real talk right there.
Shout out to y'all.
And building and building together. That's the way to do it. I look at my brother Jay Swans and his wife got married young. And they did it right. And it's such a beautiful thing to see.
Well, what happens when you're not young anymore, DL? You can't find a person?
Numbers are
That's what everybody keeps saying. Even when I went on TLA and it was like, oh, you should have found them in college. Well, we're no longer in college. Now what? There's tons of good men, I'm sure, and good women that are still in these streets, no?
Yeah. Well, the place is called Jamba Juice, y'all. Just came back to me. I get that old man filter. Took a while. Jamba Juice. So I would take them to Jamba Juice. It's just harder. It's the thing is it seems that the people who are serious about their relationships for whatever reason and they want that, they tend to get that early in life. And the longer we wait, the more we go through, and I'm talking about men and women,
I agree.
the more we go through. Like, people get mad at folks in the red pill. Like, yeah, I'm in the red pill space, but people get mad at him like, look, like, you saying these women are damaged. I mean, the dudes are damaged too. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's not exclusive to one gender. The older we get, the more stuff we go through, period. Right? I got scars on my body from battles I've been in, you know what I mean? Both military and non-military. Now, I didn't have these scars when I was a kid.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So now I carry these scars, and I carry the quote unquote trauma or whatever that got me these scars. I carry them with me as well. So the older we get, the harder it is to find. And I think if you don't find them young, before 30, and then boom, you're in your 30s, and then you might get into your 40s, like someone like me in my 50s. I'm just now getting to a point where my prospects for a long-term relationships are getting better, because I'm coming up on women who are either getting out of bad relationships that they were in, or, women who are realizing like, oh, I better hurry up and get the best I can get. No, I don't want the top tier guy anymore. I don't want the high value man. I just want a good man. So, now there are women who are willing to do a little work, and, y'all can, sit down and no BS.
Yeah. Now we're appreciative. I'm telling you, I'm much more appreciative of good men when I see them. 100%. I'm coming out is what DL saying. There's a lot of people coming out ready to see what what's going on. Damon says, DL, I really want to know podcast. I just subscribed to your channel.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Showing love. Y'all go check him out for real. I'm glad you are enjoying the conversation. Hit the like button if you're watching on Jamaicans.com. Pick up yourself if you're watching on the SuzetteSpeaks Facebook or YouTube channels. You know what it is. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I want to move on, DL, before we run out of time.
Yeah, to those pictures. And Suzette, real quick, what's a bumper clock? I come on here.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
What is that? I don't even
Jamaicans watching this.
What is that?
Dio, that's another show. Let's move on.
That's a bad name. I didn't know.
That's a bad word. Please.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just like, what is that?
It might not get you.
I don't know. I didn't. What's it equivalent to?
I know.
What's it equivalent to?
MF in.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Ooh, I like that word now. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
I'm just coming out here any kind of way, gosh. Jamaicans.com, forgive me, please. Please.
My bad, y'all. I didn't know.
Okay, we're gonna go. Andrew says, "What? Is a great place to go for some Caribbean lounges. Oh, that place I sent you to, DL. Nice. What is the name of it? Dunkano. Dunkano is a good lounge. I like it. It has a nice vibe. Daytime is cute. But Dunkano,
daytime. Stress the daytime. The only thing I don't like about that spot is where it is Wynwood, and I mean that's cool for younger folks.
It's hard to get. Yeah, night it's a little bit of different crowd, but daytime Dunkano is really good. I'm trying to think of this other place. I really like. I mean, I do like, even though I don't think the food is all that. I like Marcus Samuelson's spot. I can't think of the name of it. Where they have a good Sunday night reggae night. It's just sometimes I don't want to be out there. Red Rooster. Red Rooster is really good. The food, they charge you $100 for a plate of oxtail, y'all. That's just be warned, and it's not even like. But the vibe, the after party, the upstairs club of Red Rooster. Sundays, Richie D, big up Richie D, one of the DJs I really enjoy listening to. The earlier part, so there's 2 flexes in Miami on a Sunday. The Rise and Toast scene. I don't know if y'all go to Rise and Toast. Shout out to Doug. Rise and Toast is a younger crowd, but it's like an open air kind of grass venue that make you feel very Caribbean, low kind of maintenance stress, and it is a bop. It's a vibe. Early on, they do all you can eat little Caribbean sampler fare, and then it gets more like like more so like R. Kelly-ish video. Not that R. Kelly. I'm sorry, like Island R. Kelly videos. That's what I meant. Just the video I look like it gets like as soon as the sun starts to set, 5 to 8 vibe, and then the people go from Rise and Toast and walk over. It's in walking distance to Red Rooster, which is also a vibe. The earlier is like the old school reggae, but Red Rooster, even though people got to work, so people dip by like 12. But that late vibe, that late set, I dance till I sweat. I love that place, but it's not every. I mean, I haven't had a bad time, but I usually go on a a holiday weekend, and it's fun. It's really a
Hey,
lot of
look,
fun.
Suzette just said I
Yeah.
dance till I sweat. There's gonna be so many dudes up in there trying to catch Suzette sweating.
No,
Yo, man,
I
they be
mean it's
trying
too
to
much
catch
people
her
there. I
sweating.
be in there. I mean, me and my homegirl, we be it is so I like to dance. Like, yeah, you bailamos, I like to dance. So I don't go to the club to meme mug and post up and look cute and no, I actually go to like I know the lyrics and I into the songs and the music and the genre. So I dance, and it's a dancing club. Sometimes in Miami, you got the more lounge and people just stand around. There's a couple up north, like in Broward, Afro Lounge. I want to try out. I have not gone there yet. It's new, but we are a culture that is promoter based in South Florida. So you might not have one thing that we're missing is we don't have as many black spots, but you follow your preferred promoter, and wherever he or she is bringing the social networking event, bringing the big reggae concert, bringing the reggae dance hall night. We are promoter based culture down here, especially if you're following like Caribbean events to hang out at. It's not like a lot of cities where you have the black spots. You have a few, but it's more so like where the promoters move, you move, right?
Right.
Oh, on my own show, really. Appreciate you. But yes, good afternoon. I see some new folks have joined. We're going to talk about Rihanna and ASAP Rihanna, as she says, or ASAP
Yeah,
Rocky in just a
yeah.
moment. If y'all want to come up and join, Andrew, I could suggest a couple more places to you. Our story isn't typical, and I feel blessed as a teen mom, of a woman who never feel blessed as a teen mom of a woman who never made more than 23,000 a year. I never thought I would accumulate six figures, much less seven. I feel we represent what is possible. Listen, there's a lot of come up stories. There are girls who I know grew up in the heart of Miami working in the Biden White House right now. And they real Miami girls. When I say real, like poverty and difficult upbringings. But we got a lot of, comeback kids down here. And proud of you, sis. Proud, 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 proud of you.
And that's the
Yes,
thing. A lot of people don't realize is men and women, and I would have to say the majority of this. I have to put it on the women because of because of hypergamy. We did that real good show last year
yes.
on hypergamy. But here's the thing: what we need to realize, people, and I'm talking to all young folks out there. We are better together than we are apart. The
Yeah,
manospheres, they preach that all the time. And you look at Sister Hermes Addict, right? Look at her and her husband and what they have built together. Sis, and this is Sister Hermes. Would you be as successful today without your husband, in your opinion? Would he be as successful without you? I would say probably not. You know what I
exactly.
mean? I know that Jay Swans talks about this all the time. He's like, bro, if I did something stupid and exercised my options and my wife left me, she should get 100% of everything we built because it was because of her that we have these things. You know what I mean? And I will, and it's a lot of guys will stop from saying that. Like, I don't need, women say they don't need no men, but men are like, well, I've already built myself. I don't need no woman. But if a woman adds value, she can increase y'all fortune. You know what I mean?
100%.
A hundred
I
fold.
was just watching on I think it was Uncle Shannon Sharp show.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Smiley was talking about that and how he admires, I think, what Marjorie did for Steve Harvey and some other examples that he gave. Like his money went up. Like
Michael
when he
Jordan.
married her,
Look at
Michael
Michael
Jordan
Jordan.
and Juanita. Yep. Shout out to the first wife and all that. But yeah, it's I think it increases both value, but again we're afraid of the risk, or people go with kind of maybe more of a selfish heart sometimes now as
There
you
it
grow
is.
older. And
Selfish.
so
There it
yeah,
is.
it's scary now because you want the love story, not the cookies and cream and sugar and spice, but we want to be as real and transparent to be seen. But then we're worried that the other person is only here for what we have or to come up or whatever. It can get very tricky out here, guys, on this dating scene. Our Mez Addict said, "Oh, you went to Red Rooster last Thursday." Yeah, I go. Me and my girls will go every now and then. They have a cute little happy hour. Their happy hour is good too. But it just depends on the day. I didn't like the food at Red Rooster Harlem. I think it's overrated. I just thought, okay, this is not. I know it's Caribbean and Southern inspired fare. I didn't. I got the octopus, and then they have like yard bird. I don't eat chicken, but they got yard bird. People seem to like the fried chicken and whatever. But yeah, $100 oxtails, girl. Please and no thank you. They better cure diseases. Good afternoon, Coach B, the CEO. Yes, you had the oxtails. Was it good? I hope you did. You like it? Cause I wasn't gonna order it. I was like, $100 for what? Next, bring me the ox. Not this past Thursday, but we took our puppy with us one time to Red Rooster. He was such a menace. Going after the Red, really, because they have outdoor seating. It's really nice. It has a good ambiance. I'll give it that. The setup and the rooftop is what my place. So oxtails are expensive. I wouldn't buy them anywhere other than a Jamaican restaurant. Yes. Yeah, no wildflowers at all. I just like to dance, right? I'm not talking about the music video, not supporting R. Kelly. Don't get me wrong. Just the good music when he went to the girl I
And,
want to be with you. You guys know what I'm setting the scene. That's how you feel when you're out there at night. All I'm saying, I'm not saying we support what he is or what he's done. Leave it at that. Okay. Not all we ride or die.
yes, I was
Okay.
like, yeah, girl, stop digging, stop digging.
Before Cinnabon built its own brick and mortar locations, we would go to the mall and eat and enjoy. I think that's a cute date. Again, depending on your stage of life, and if you really dig in the person and y'all really being serious, let's go. But I think it's these early stages where people are trying to feel what they're gonna get out of it. Do I really like you? I don't know that I like you, but if I don't want to spend too much. But if I do, you know what I'm saying? It's more like a kind of like,
I mean, you can
I don't
make the
know.
argument that young women are being encouraged to go out there, like the whole foodie day thing. To go out there, I want to go on a date with a guy. I have
I don't
I'm
do
attracted
that.
to him.
I don't do that.
Zero attraction to him. I just want to go to this place and I'm gonna get this experience through this guy because he's a simpleton and I know he'll do it. All right, again, I don't hate the players, man. I just it's the game. I don't hate the players. That's on dude,
I mean,
right?
people
But
gonna do that. People gonna do that. Women gonna do
people
that for sure.
and
For
and
sure.
that's the thing. And what it does, it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. So now guys are like, well, I saw the simpleton over here get wrecked. So Suzette Speaks wants to go out. No, I'm going to take her to get coffee because I don't want her to wreck me because Suzette Speaks is going to be like those girls over there, which is not the truth. It couldn't be further
Uh,
from the truth.
but
It's
you're
this
not gonna take me to
vicious.
get coffee because I'm not going to coffee unless it's a business meeting. Why are we going to coffee? I don't understand.
And then it's like, so what happens? We wound up missing out on something that could be good for both of us.
We're not gonna go to no coffee. How about that?
I ain't mad at you though. Like I said, don't hate to play a game. Ain't the game. I ain't tripping. You know what I mean? Like I said,
I'll buy the pizza. Let's get
I ain't mad at all.
Dating Chronicles, your best, your worst first date. What do you expect on a first date? Are you feeling like it's kind of a jungle out there? Are you more encouraged after hearing what we had to say today? Yes, Miss Globe Girl Interesting says, DL, according to the Red Pill narrative, Hermes addict wouldn't be married and happy because she was a teenage mom, etc., etc. But like I said, I don't want to evaluate people on their least, favorable circumstance or their lowest moment of their life. And people get
And real
written
quick
off too
though,
easy. But go
yeah,
ahead.
and real quick, like yes, the red pill manosphere would say that single moms are for recreational use only, right? And they say that it does not benefit a man to marry a woman who has a child by another man, right? And they give reasons as to why. Now here's the thing: when you look at it on its face, like, all right, I see why people would be hesitant. You know what I mean? Because there are a whole bunch of issues with that, legal issues and otherwise. I mean, the worst case scenario is the guys with this woman who has a baby for 10 years and they fall into the 50% of measures that don't work. In some states, that guy could be
Oh,
on the
on the
hook for
hook.
child
Oh
support
yeah,
for a child
100%.
that's not biologically his. They're addressing those kind of things. But the red pill also says that a woman should add value. So if a woman who's a single mom adds so much value
Yeah.
that man, that
Hmm.
top tier guy, is like, you know what? It's worth my investment to bring this woman on and her child.
Yeah.
Then you might have that. But generally speaking, I would agree with the red pill. Like it's, at certain ages. At my age, if you got kids, you're supposed to. If I meet a woman who doesn't have kids, and because I don't date 20 somethings, like I'm not trying
Hmm.
to be serious with some 20 some 30. If I meet a woman that don't have kids and she's older, you want to talk about, that's a big old red communist flag. That's one of those
Yeah.
big old
Yeah.
red comrade, you know what I mean? Comrade red flag right there. Like,
For
nah,
you.
why?
For
For
you.
me
Understood.
personally,
Understood.
why don't you have
Understood.
any kids? You trying to have kids at
But you just told her
42?
don't have. You just told her don't have none with no out of wedlock, or that isn't that what's preached over there?
But and here you go. There it is. This is life. We all got to figure it out. But you know what I mean? Ain't no,
Whatever you would have called her baby mama if she did have kids, but if she doesn't have kids, it's a red flag. It's a
but as a 55-year-old man,
yeah.
her kids are grown. Well, I'm
Yes.
52 though, but like
No, I
her
understand
kids
your
are
point.
grown.
I
It's that's
understand.
my whole point. Like, it doesn't bother
So
me, and I
you
have a
wouldn't
kid.
date nobody who's never had kids.
At 52, probably not. Not a woman in her 30s who never had kids. Why? Because she's gonna want a child.
Oh, for that purpose.
She's
Okay.
gonna want a child.
Makes
I'm
sense.
not having no more kids. You know what I mean?
Cam Likely is up. Let me grab him and then let me read a couple of these. Cody is king, keeping it all the way real. Says, okay, well, I see you, Scam Likely. Well, okay, the coffee date thing is a good example. I may ask someone out for coffee that I'm more interested in than someone I'd ask out for dinner right away. If we go on a dinner,
Brother Cody keeping it 100. That's why Cody is king, yo. Actually, Cody did a show. We did an episode on my platform. I don't know if you saw that, Suzette.
no,
Brother,
which one?
brother Cody is a very, very interesting dude. You should check it out.
Okay.
Not a shameless plug, but yo, Cody is king did a show with me, and it was one of my favorite episodes. Shout out to you,
Okay.
bro.
What was the name of it?
Living a Spartan life, and the thumbnail has a Spartan holding a sword and his
Ah,
spear, and and brother Cody is king is up in Canada. So like even
oh,
like this
cool.
whole North American thing, like there's such a difference in the dating game from Mexico, U.S. and
Oh
Canada.
yeah.
Y'all be
Different standards,
surprised.
different values. People
Yeah.
people don't think of life the same way actually, and the importance of a relationship in the same way. Miss Girl, you're so right. Also, colorism. I was often told I was pretty for a dark skinned gal. Really, I
Ooh.
married to a man who loves and values me. Listen, that's a whole nother thing. A girl. I can't even say what this lady said to me yesterday. I go to the doctor's office for a quick visit, and because I had an annual, blood draw, or whatever. And this woman, she wasn't even my phlebotomist, came over to me. Like there's a little room. It was maybe like 12 by 16. It's like a two desk for the two phlebotomists to work at. You sit at one with a patient, you sit at the other with the patient. The one who was not serving me, the one who was at the other desk, comes over to me and was like, "Hey girl, ha 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 ha. I have on my mask. I'm chilling. I'm just getting my blood drawn." This woman whispers in my ear. Do you know what she says to me? This woman, I can't even repeat it, but this woman whispers in my ear, "Girl, you look like a white girl from the back."
Damn. She felt the need to get up and, and come over here and tell you all this. Damn.
DL, I had on a cute outfit, first and foremost, right? Anybody who knows me knows I'm really shapely, so don't even start right there, right? But it is almost, and this is another whole new conversation about women cutting other women down to size if they think maybe, I don't know, she's getting too much attention, too much love, seems too confident. It was the most random side eye remark. Like, it was, you ever had somebody tell you something so random in the moment you're like, what? And then she went back and started drawing her patient blood.
Yeah, men
What do
don't
you what do
typically
you
do that because it could lead to violence. So most
I was like,
dudes,
if she had the right one, I thought that too. I was like, if she had the right one, baby, this is Miami. People will get with you why did you feel like you should say that to me? It was really odd, ladies, and there was so much more to it. I might talk about it on my Patreon, but
you might have to. And here's the
it
thing,
was
too,
really odd. And I
how
thought to
easy
myself,
would it have been for you to fire off a couple emails to get rid of that woman?
or it was just unprofessional because she broke the patient provider barrier to a patient she wasn't even catering to come and try to create insecurity. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to tell this woman that. Do you get what I'm saying?
With your knowledge of the legal system and how it works here, how easy would it have been
Oh,
for you
it
to
was
make?
completely inappropriate. It was completely inappropriate.
But my point is,
And
you could have destroyed that woman. And
yeah,
you could have got her fired. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm
You
not
could
going to
have.
go through and do that. But the point was, would she have said that to a white woman? Would she have said that to anybody else? It was just very odd. I was just like, wow, that was uncalled for, and I don't know you. It was
Right.
really bizarre. Nonetheless, I just had to share that. It was randomly, yes, Damon, this is how I felt for sure. Yes, she had a little hate, and I was just telling my cousin, was like, that heifer was hating. That's what she's, excuse me, but that's what she was like. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Scam Lightly, yes, super cringe. I was just like, what kind of? I'm never coming here again. Weirdo. But Scam Likely, let me get your opinion before I go out into a random story or
Yeah.
two. How are you?
All is well. Can you hear me?
Yes. How you doing today? What you got to say? I know it's interesting about the floor is yours,
Um,
sir, about first dates.
Here's my opinion. I think it's too much complication. Data, analytics, black history from 1824, and all this stuff. Here's the deal. You met this woman. You like her? It's either you like her, she likes you. Thumbs up. You like her, she doesn't like you. Thumbs down. She likes you, you don't like her. Thumbs down. 20 to 40 bucks or $5 to $10. Does it really make that much of a difference? Ice cream, barbecue, or freaking rotisserie jerk mule esophagus, whatever you're going to eat or wherever you're going to meet. You like her or you don't. Meet, spend the time. I assume you talked on the phone. There's a reason you want to go see her. Go see her. But why the whole analytics? Well, I can't spend but $7.6 because the women from 5 years ago told me that I was too black. Come on. If you like her, go see her. If you don't go see her.
Yeah.
After the date, you either like her or you don't. But all the how much they make and all this extra stuff, you'll get to that when it's important.
So do you think it's because why do you think we're so hung up on that? And shout out to everybody who's just asking me real quick. The woman was a black woman, dark skin, I think African American on face. I don't know down here to tell because of how people sound. And I think I would put her late 40s, just FYI, just anyway. But back to what you're saying. You're saying keep it real. If you like someone, go after them. Make the initiate. Doesn't matter where you go because if you're liking them, the point is that you want to get to know them and try to see if y'all are compatible. That's what you're saying? I'm asking.
Yeah, if you have to do an hour's worth of data analytics to go on a date as a dude, something's wrong. You need to fix that problem. If a woman has to analyze and dissect how much the dude has to spend because they're such the prize, something's wrong. Fix that's wrong and get yourself out there and go date and deal with somebody. Me personally, if I sit her across the table, there's things that I don't date.
Yeah.
Analysts, no. Honestly, I don't do victims either. I can't do it. I'm pretty heartless when it comes to that. That's just me. But I'm looking for someone that I like. The woman who I've dated that I like, I can barely even remember what I spent, what we did. I just remember the experience I had with those those women, and it wouldn't have mattered where we went.
Okay.
Didn't make a difference.
So may I ask you, what is your typical first date that you would invite a woman on?
Let's throw a baller. Let's throw a baller. Y'all getting on a boat, a plane, a helicopter, all that.
Oh, that's what you do, scam lightly? You go big time?
I have never in my life went on a date and seen a tab come up to over $100. Actually have 5 figures on it. Never. What can you buy? Now, I know people are fat, but how much eating can you... Maybe it's because I date smaller women, but I don't... This $300 extravagant... What do you buy?
That's the wilding out.
I don't get dudes that want to impress women. I mean, and I'm going to keep going in on this fake red pill spaces. So the goal is to go out here and show the women you can provide. It's about the money. So you take her on a $500 date to go get married, telling her how you can provide, and then pull out a prenup and say you ain't getting none of it.
Exactly.
Because I don't trust you.
I don't know, man. I would push back a little bit. I would say the goal of the red pill manosphere world is to open the eyes of guys and let them know that, it's not all sugar and spice and everything nice out here. That's all. I don't think like a lot of people's like, oh, the red pill tells you to be mean or do this. No, at least I don't. Like my interpretation of the red pill is just like from the movie. You take the red pill, you open your eyes and you see the world for what it truly is. Now, if you want to go out and you want to, dude, there are guys out there. I worked at Van Nuys Airport as an air traffic controller. Van Nuys, like when I was there, one of the busiest airports on the planet. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get down into how we do that, but Van Nuys is a very, very busy airport. There's an operation there, at least there was, where they were called the dinner flights. These small airplanes and helicopters would go out and they would fly over the hill from the San Fernando Valley over to Hollywood.
So beautiful.
And they would fly. It's a beautiful fly back. So you go have dinner, and then the flight, and then that's the date. Like that, you pay for dinner.
How much you pay
and
for that? How much that costs?
Look, I know how much it costs for gas on those airplanes that they were flying. So, and I never looked into the dinner flight thing. I don't want to lie and make up numbers.
We have Groupons for helicopter flights out here. People right. do that. I mean,
and helicopters are more expensive to operate per hour than fixed wing aircraft. So they will have both. They will have like the fixed wing aircraft, little airplanes, and then they will have helicopters. Right? It wasn't cheap. Them things were flying every single night.
Was flying them.
7 days a week. And
I
tell you this,
they was getting flued out.
Getting flown all over. So, but the thing is this, you know, a lot of guys were, you know, the Disney fairy tale affects men and women equally.
Okay.
Right. And that's how I look at it, brother. And me and listen, y'all, me and Brother Dusto, we know each other in the real world. Hell, we were just hanging out last night. Like we know each other in real life. So we had these conversations constantly. But the red pill is simply saying, hey, bro, you might want to take these, you know, you might want to look at this, and you might want to take this information, and you might want to adjust your game or not. It's up to you. You know what I mean? But I feel you. People talk about prenups. All right, if you got enough money, yeah, get a prenup. People talk about men going their own way, the MGTOW movement. I just did a show on that. Most dudes don't need to go their own way. If you broke, you don't need to go your own way. Get you a rich woman. If you broke, get some game, get you a wealthy woman. You just won. If she leaves you, and y'all in a relationship, y'all married, if she leaves you, she got to pay you. You got 10 years in. Those laws work both ways, no matter, you know, you're a man or a woman. If you broke in the house being taken care of by 10 years from a woman, she gonna have to pay you alimony until you die. Right? So you won.
MGTOW can't get women.
Yes.
MGTOW usually can't get women.
Yes, they can.
Usually they can't.
Those who don't know the lingo, and thank you, good to see you, MGTOW Universe, which is men, MGTOW. I forgot what I was calling him first, but MGTOW is men going their own way. And can someone, he says, women want a 5-star restaurant but live in a 1-star life. Okay, keep it 100. But what is the philosophy behind MGTOW for people who have never heard of this type of philosophy?
Yeah, I did a show on this too. I'm not a MGTOW expert by no stretch of the imagination. You might have to defer to Brother MGTOW in the chat. But men going their own way, to me, seems to be a group of men who are looking at the current sexual marketplace, the current dating world, and they don't like what they see. And a lot of these guys are like, you know what? I'm just going to step back. Now, there are variants to it. There's some guys who are like, they're truly going to go their own way and they don't deal with women at all. I don't advocate that at all.
He's up here. Hold on. Let me ask him to come up.
There you go.
MGTOW. I hope you're ready. I'm going to bring you up now.
Let him talk.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes. How are you? Good to see you.
I am well. How's it going, everyone?
Good. So I just wanted, just because people may not know, and you see the spelling below me there, MGTOW. What is that, and what does it mean?
Well, MGTOW is basically you as a man putting yourself first and not doing things that are not in your best interest because of God and country, or because traditionalism, or because of whatever. And is looking at the world the way that it is instead of how the world wants you to look at it. If I had to sum it up or simplify it now, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so putting yourself first, no matter what, doesn't matter, women and children first, nothing like that. Just doing what's best for you as a man.
Well, if you want to build a family, then obviously, but usually MGTOW are not talking about getting married.
Oh, they don't want to get married either?
Usually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, because marriage in this country is like...
Okay, on the paperwork.
Yeah.
Y'all saw what, was it Little Duval said?
No.
He was on Shay Shay. He was on, I don't know why I was watching Shannon Sharp's clips. And he had a good interview with Little Duval. Now, I don't agree with everything Little Duval was saying, but he is viral, or is going viral, about him stating, him and his girl are already married in his eyes, and they are very loyal, and she knows what he does, or whatever. And Shannon was like, well, what do you feel about marriage? And he was like, why you need a paperwork? Would you sign a contract that is going to hurt you in the long run, or that wasn't in your favor? And it's like, no, y'all stay woke then, and all like kind of stuff like that. So it was very interesting. Again, I don't necessarily agree with Little Duval's take.
How many kids does he have? Doesn't he have like a boatload of kids?
I don't want to talk about this man's.
I mean,
Oh,
usually men are fine with not getting married. It's usually the women that want the wedding.
usually depends on the man. Depends on the man. MGTOW, no marriage, no children, no cohabitation with women. Would you agree with that's part of it?
For some.
Yeah, for some, yeah.
For
For some.
some.
So it's another thing too. People say that they're like, "Oh, this MGTOW thing is a movement." I don't see it as a movement. When I look at men going their own way, it's an option, right? Because people are looking. Again, we all agree. I think everyone on this panel and everyone in the chat will agree that the dating game and the way we move as a society has changed greatly over the past 15, 20 years.
It has, yeah.
It has. So men are looking at this and they're like, well, all right, let's say a dude is like, okay, I'm a 6. You know what I mean? I'm a step above average dude. I'm 5'9", I make $60,000 a year, right? I've worked hard to get I got my house. I worked hard to get it. My car is paid for. I have 0 debts. So our society will have this guy meet a woman who has student loan debt, possibly, maybe has a kid, right? Maybe she has a bunch of unsecured credit and she gets married to this guy. They love each other. Okay. They rode off into the sunset, the Disney fairy tale. 7 years in, she's like, you know what? I don't want to be with you anymore. And gets divorced for no reason, right? And people like, well, come on, DL, you exaggerating. 70% to 90% of divorces are initiated by women in the United States. 70 to 90% of divorces are initiated by women in the United States. Child support, right? And when we talk about, even before child support, child custody, 90% of the time in the family law system, the woman is awarded custodial parentship. Okay, fine. And I think it's the same thing. 80 to 90% of the time when there's child support, it's paid from man to woman. When there's alimony, it's paid from man to women. Listen, y'all, I'm not knocking it. It's the game. Remember, I don't hate players. I just don't like the game. And I think that MGTOW, passport bros, right, and all this other kind of stuff are options for this new reality. And the manosphere or the Mano Swamp, shout out to Rich Cooper. He calls it the Mano Swamp now because there's so much money involved in that world right now that even the dudes are fighting over the bread. The Mano Swamp, the Manosphere, simply puts this information out and say, hey, you're a grown ass man. Here are the numbers. Do what you want. Move accordingly. That's how I see it. I'm not one of those guys that are like, oh, women ain't no good and baby mamas ain't no good and the course is not. Listen, and from what I understand about the MGTOW thing, that kind of stemmed from the men's right activist movement, the MRA movement.
That's correct.
So, and it's just an extension of that. And it's going to morph into something else down the road. But I mean, it's just an option, y'all. Like, you can choose to do what you want to do as a man. I tell you this, I don't move the same as I did when I was younger. You know what I mean? I'm currently getting crushed by the family law system. It's ridiculous to go through, but it's my fault. I'm not gonna sit here like Brother Dusto says all the time, and I love the brother for saying this. He was like, I'm so sick of all these victims. So many people want to be victims in America. And he's true. What he says is true. All these people want to be victims, right? Now, it is my fault that I'm in the situation I'm in. However, I would be foolish to keep moving the same way I was moving if I don't learn from it. And that's what led me to the red pill rabbit hole. That's what led me to the manosphere. That's how I know about all these other things. And I'm like, yeah, some of this stuff makes sense. Some of this stuff is nonsense. You know what I mean? We keep it 100. Some of the stuff is just these dudes are just these basement dwellers. I tell them all the time, like, bro, you don't deserve a woman. You don't deserve to be with any kind of woman, let alone a dime. You know what I mean? Work yourself up. Work yourself up. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
So, just so we can, I would love MGTOW and Scam Likely and yours reaction to what has been said during the conversation, as well as what has been said on the covers that we're going to discuss shortly. Can you respond to any of this MGTOW when it's like the nation? What is the nation of Wigwam is destroying? What does this mean?
That's Dusto. That's Dusto. That's Dusto.
What does this mean? There's so much being said in the chat. Do you want to respond to any of it?
No. I've been in the menace for 15 years. This is light. You should have been here in 2012. Oh boy, those were wild times.
Was it crazy?
It was beyond crazy. The doxing and
I heard about
swatting and the calling your jobs to try to get you fired. That was the peak.
And these were men. Men doing that?
There was men and women.
Wow.
But
this was when
2000. Well, MGTOW really took off in 2011. 2012, 2013 is kind of had like the same reaction like Passport Bros is having now.
Okay.
Like, you know, you had people coming out of everywhere to make videos and calling names and slinging mud and all the other stuff. I mean, I just want to address ideas. I don't care about the name calling and stuff because it's nothing new to me.
Okay, well, nude for people who don't know what it was. That's the only reason why I wanted to open the door a little bit. I don't want to go deep in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no problem.
For people who didn't understand what this was, and I know we kind of speak sometimes above where the viewers are, so I want to make sure everybody's kind of coming along. All right, a few more comments, and I'll get you guys to react on the Rihanna cover. Kimo, big up Kimo says, too many losers out here jumping on all type of pills, his words and not mine, deadbeat philosophies. I see this as a pretext of a larger civil war. Too many people are building hate. He also said, I believe in his prior comment, to paraphrase, there's two extremists. There's nuance in life. So one person cannot be all one thing or all good or all bad or make all the best decisions or all the worst decisions or is fully worthy of marriage or not. Like there's nuance. I agree with that prior comment that you made. Doug says, if you really want to know what MGTOW is, check out the Sandman's videos, introduction to MGTOW. Okay, thank you.
It goes a lot better than Sandman.
Okay, what would you suggest people check out if they want to?
His name is Barbar, B-A-R-B-A-R. He has a video dating back to 2012. If you want to do a search, you can do a search for marriage, just crap.
Put in the
underlining business, something like that.
Okay, put in the chat if you find it. Miss K lady says the RP doesn't like successful women, and they feel like the other women will screw them in court. Right? It's like, don't want this one, but I don't want that one either. Sounds like here's the thing.
But real quick, it's the RP dudes would love to have that successful woman. They can't get her. She doesn't want him, right? So they just lash out. That's what that is. They just lash out. No, again, when you're talking about this statement right here, most women only see the top 20%, top 15% of men. So we talk about this all the time. The bottom 80 are invisible. So we're not even talking about those guys. So the guys in the bottom 80, they realize now that they're invisible. And those are the guys that lash out. That's the victim mindset that Dusto was talking about. And I agree, like, all right, well, dude, quit being the victim. Work on yourself. Be the best version of yourself. And that's why that space is growing. And there's so much money over there being made right now. It's so much money, in fact, that women are coming into that space to get some of the coaching dollars and putting together courses and this, that, and the third. So yeah, you know, Miss AKA lady, that's my people. I love her to death. But red pill dudes would love to have that good woman, but they haven't built themselves up to qualify for that woman. And they're mad that the women on their level don't even look at them. And that's my take on it.
I agree with most of what you said. I would say that instead of lashing out, you know what? I would take that back. I would say about 5 to 7 years ago, I would agree with you. But now we're at the point of like, well, if the women that you want or qualify for are not seeing you, then, you know, you, as you said, build up your, get your money right, get yourself right physically, so on and so forth, and get your passport and get up out of here and go to a market of women that you do qualify for.
Ooh, we got a conversation too.
No, I can't.
Do they really qualify?
I can't take.
I got pushed. Yeah, I got pushed back.
I don't know if I can take this. I gotta go on to something else. Okay, guys.
Every time the passport comes up, you have like this headache.
No, I'm
sick of the passports too. To be honest, I'm sick of it.
I just want to ask y'all opinion on this cover real quick before we go. Yes, ladies, let's move into that direction.
Why they got my mans like that?
If you guys didn't know, there was an Ebony cover.
Why they do him like that?
And a Vogue
Ebony
cover of this gentleman, Jonathan Majors, actor extraordinaire, called Hollywood's, I think it was called Most Wanted. He was positioned in this way. Let me just do a close-up for anyone who wants to see the close-up. Yes, you're welcome. And there's another one that's ruffling some feathers where he is in more of a jacket. I'll put that one up. This one, the duck lips a little bit.
Come on,
let me see if I can get a more.
Come on.
Yeah, let me see if I can get a little bit more. Oh, there it is. That's the one. People are up in arms. And you know, there was a bunch of reaction to it. People on social media were really mad. They were saying it's effeminate. It's killing our black men. Not killing, but, you know, destroying the image and feminizing our black men. So I wanted to get your guys. Hey, Reese from Philly, I see you in the back. I wanted to get you guys' reaction. Some of you who had seen this cover before.
I'm just not seeing it, but
Yeah, it's
it's
my
been
first
talked
time
about.
seeing it.
First time seeing it.
But both of those pictures look moist as I don't know what.
Guys. So I'm gonna ask you if you feel like, and again, it's Ebony. I don't think it's Black owned anymore. They were, and I think it's still geared towards Black women, supposedly Black culture, et cetera, et cetera.
Do Black women when Black women see this picture, is that something that they want to see? That's my question.
It was presented to them. Like, I don't think the creative director, I don't think, was a woman. So he's he's having a moment. He's being highlighted. He's going to be in Creed 3. He has had several major roles. And, this was what was presented. You saw the other one where he was sitting with the roses with his legs open. Balam bam. Okay, February, Valentine's issues, giving, but what do you think it's giving? Do you think it was appropriate? Do you think it's,
a cover for Playboy, Playgirl? That's what that cover says. The other one is go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's saying Happy Valentine. It's saying Happy Valentine.
Well, I mean, here's the thing too. I mean, there's a narrative out there, especially in the manosphere world, that men are being weakened. And strong masculine men are being shunned, and then people say, "Oh, the Matrix wants it this way, this, that, and the third." When you see stuff like this, it makes you wonder, like, that brother right there works hard on his body. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he's worked hard on his career. My thing is, I mean, is he gay? And if he is, that's fine.
He's not. He's actually married. He's said out loud that he's not in the LGBTQ
all right
community.
So who and why would he agree to do this? The who part is who put him up to do this, and why would he agree to do this? Thank you. So there is a movement out here. I mean, it is what it is. You look at this, like, this is fine. You could do this, but then you look at, any man who goes out there and tries to stand up and be a manly man, you're toxic. You feel me? So there is a narrative out there. Now, here's the thing. I'm not getting into, conspiracy theories and all that kind of stuff, but if my son is looking at this, I'm telling him, this is not how you need to look as a man. This is not it right here. This is not manly. No, you can't do this. If you want to dress like this, in the confines of your own home, and that's how you get down, that's fine. But why are we sending this message that this is what men should look like? This is the first time I'm seeing this. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the message it sends. I don't like this no more than I like that picture with Rihanna leading her family like that.
Okay, we get into the Rihanna piece. Other opinions. Thank you, DL. Scam Likely, what was your take on this?
I'm a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy in the gloom and doom to where the news flashes. Something happened in Arizona in a dark alley. And then I get all, oh my God, they're taking over the world. A picture shows up of Russell Wilson and Ciara again. Whoa, my God, we got to protect the kids. No. There's a picture with a dude doing whatever. I knew there was somebody going to take that picture, and I knew somebody was going to put it up. So there's a picture. So it ain't me, and you ain't going to never meet that dude in real life. And most of y'all don't go to the gym and look like that dude no way. That's
the reaction.
If you don't like the picture, don't post it on your wall.
All right, I have to take
just don't get wrapped up in the
DL, please keep it going.
All right, we got it. So Sue had to take away for a second. So Brother MGTOW, we wanted to get Brother MGTOW's take on this as well. But before we do, Miss Globe Girl, in the comments, she says, who's saying this is what men should look like? It's just a photo. I hear you, sis. I hear you. But when I'm looking at this, when the media bombards young people with these type of images, right?
Exactly.
It kind of seeps into their mind. So brother MGTOW, let's hear your take on this, and then we're gonna
Imagery
roll
matters.
over to brother.
Imagery matters. We all know that. Okay. I'm willing to give him leeway on the first picture because that could have been for the ladies. Fine. That second picture was super moist. I don't know how imagery matters. If we look back the past 30 years of black men doing stuff like this, it doesn't put us in a positive light. yes, kids are seeing that, and yeah, it does um, form the minds of young ones, and also give people other ideas. Like, no, I'm not with it.
I mean, because we look at what's going on, we get so mad at hip hop for portraying the gangster life and this and that
Exactly.
and all that. So, and young dudes will come up paying SAG and everybody wants to be thugged out or whatever. There's an argument that could be made that if you saturate enough of this type of image, then that's the way these young men are going to adapt. They're going to adapt that persona. Why? Because that's what the little girls are drawn to.
Yep.
Little boys want attention to. Brother Reese,
I disagree.
Oh, okay.
But go
Okay,
ahead.
so we're gonna let Brother Reese jump in real quick, and then we're gonna go to Brother Dusto. Brother Reese, what's your take on it? And good to see you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna hip y'all to something. This is something that our handlers and masters understand that we don't. So there's something in your brain called the phonological loop, right? Before I even explain what that is, let's look at the word phono, logical, and loop, right? Phono, that means image, sound, whatever, however you want to twist that. And loop is something that goes over and over again, right? So in this area of your brain, according to my studies, I believe that this is where all information that comes in through the eyes and ears is stored forever. Regardless of what your memory is, it's stored there, okay? And this manifests into behavior. Now, there are going to be people that ask me, well, how come everybody isn't doing the things that they see and hear? Well, it doesn't work that way. They're gonna put a lot of BS in front of you, and one of us is gonna grab a piece of it, another one of us is gonna grab another piece of it, and then next thing you know, we got a culture, right? So study the phonological loop. Understand that the images, you have to control the images and sounds that come into your brain, man, because it can corrupt you. And they understand that. That's why they put these things out here. It's an agenda. They want a certain thing to happen, and that's why they do things like that. They know that's out of the norm. They know that's against what most of us think. You know what I mean? And want for our sons. So you have to understand that it's an attack, man. It's not culture or none of this. It's not evolution or any of that. It's an attack. Trust me.
I would agree with the brother. I say it's a form of psyops. Brother Dusto, you had some pushback, or not pushback, but you had a comment.
Yeah, I got pushback. Okay. Everything isn't, there are a bunch of agendas doing whatever for profit, but everything isn't to where somebody throws a piece of paper out the window. They're coming after the black man because of an agenda from, no. In the 60s and 70s, they had countries and westerns, and they shot off all the people in every one of those. Transformers even, when I was watching when I was a kid, they had guns and they shot people up. I went in the Army. I had all kind of shot any and everything there was. I was field artillery. That doesn't mean that I'm going to get up here and start blowing people up because that's what I saw and they programmed. No. You're going to do what you're going to do. You're going to be who you're going to be. If you're a follower and you're just looking to follow anything, then yeah. Because to be honest, I can go make more money playing the gay game or playing the victim game, and because this is a 90-something% emotional world. There's rewards for playing with people's emotions, and there's a benefit from it. Some people are going to go play the game. Some people aren't. But you're not going to just watch Superman wear a dress and all of a sudden you stop liking women and you start liking men. No.
Well, I mean, I'll push back just a little bit on that. Yeah, I will push back on that just real quick, and then we're gonna bring Brother Mandrell up, who's up in here. That's my favorite Green Beret, y'all. If y'all don't know about Brother Mandrell, he's former Special Forces. But real quick,
I want to respond to him too because I agree.
Okay, let me say this real quick. I'll say this, then we'll go to Brother Reese and then Mandrell. So here's the thing. Y'all remember that TV show, that movie, that series, Twilight, with the werewolves and the vampires, right?
Yeah.
All them dudes, them pale, skinny white boys walking around. And it was like, yo, after that hit, that book, them books hit, all them boys in LA look just like that. Pale, skinny, white dudes. And that's when that whole vegan thing started to come on. So there is a little element of the psyop going on, you know what I mean? And that's where I was agreeing with Brother Reese as well. I mean, and I hear you, Brother Dusto. I came up watching Tom and Jerry and Bugs Bunny and watching, people get hit with mallets, and I ain't never dropped an anvil on nobody's head. I get that part. However, you know what I mean? There is the way I dressed, the way I acted, right? All that those inputs that were coming in from me in the streets and at the church and wherever else I was. So that it did have an effect. You know what I mean? Brother Reese, go ahead and then we'll go to Brother Mandrell.
Look, I agree with the brother, but the reason why I think he might see things a little bit different to me is maybe the generations that we come from. So I'm kind of old, even though I don't look it. I come from the golden era, the only generation that was smarter than its parents and its children. I'm 53. That was the golden era. And black people were on the rise back then. This is when Public Enemy came to us and some soul singers. I can't run down the line, don't have enough time. But I noticed some things that were happening as we were starting to rise and get better. And so did our handlers. So they had to put certain things in place to break that up because, you know, as a unit, we're strong and can't be controlled. But divided, they can do whatever they want to us. So they had to keep that division in place once they noticed that we were working on unity. So I think that the cocaine epidemic in the late 80s and 90s and the change in music and R&B and rap was all part of it. And I think that's what's going on now with this dress code stuff. I can't prove that in any way. That's just something that I'm assuming. So that's why I'm not going to go against the brother. I kind of agree with what he said.
Right.
Yeah,
Definitely...
I can prove this part. If I drop some crack in front of your door, what would you do? Would you smoke it?
I'd probably call the police on you.
Right. You're trying to get somebody locked up. Somebody get the police over here.
That's my point. No matter how white or black, if you drop crack in front of my door, I'm not going to smoke it. But if I was a crack addict, I would do whatever I could and go 30, 40 minutes out to go find some crack. You're going to win or you're going to lose.
I hear what you're saying, bro. And I want to get Brother Mandrell in here, but you got to look at the way our society looks at marijuana today as opposed to they did in the 70s, right? I'm not asking for you to comment on it right now, but look at the way marijuana is looked at today as, you know, compare that to the 70s. Brother Mandrell, you know what I mean? What's good, fam? What's good, fam? Good to see you.
What's going on, man?
Peace.
Just trying to get everything set up back here. But last night I found out that one of our guests said that outfit was actually the outfit, like it was modeled after an anime character. And as soon as they said that, I knew exactly who that person was, right? It's this character right here. His name's Doflamingo.
Oh, damn.
From the anime called One Piece. And in my opinion, it's the most well-written story in all of anime history, right? Now, this character is straight as an arrow in the anime, but he has that crazy dress style, kind of like Prince and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five back in the day, where they would, you know, you got some people out there, Ric Flair, like you got some guys out there who are straight as an arrow who got these wild and crazy dress styles, right?
Dolomite,
but it fits him. But yeah, Dolomite, exactly. Like, yeah, Dennis Rodman. Like, but it fits him. You know, so now here's the thing about that picture. I don't know about the pants and boots. That ain't my thing. But I would at least try to rock that jacket. I ain't gonna lie. That he got on. I ain't gonna lie. I would at least try the jacket.
Hey, that's what's up, y'all. And real quick, let me jump in just real quick. A quick. Hey, we have not taken over, y'all. All right, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to drop. Y'all have a good day.
Hey, thanks for being up here, Brother Dusto, Scam Likely. You know what I mean?
Shout out to you, bro. Now.
Cool. Shout out to you, Scam Likely, man. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody out there listening, man. This is the SuzetteSpeaks show, y'all. We have not taken over. Suzette is fine. I don't want y'all to think that, they done came and did something to Suzette and took her platform. This is the SuzetteSpeaks show, right? And we are talking about what's going on in media right now with some photos and stuff like that. So I'm here, which we got MGTOW Universe up in here, Brother Reese from Philly, Brother Mandrell here again. I'm DL Saint. And ladies, please, we would love to have some females up on this panel. We really want to hear what y'all have to say about this. And Brother Mandrell, go ahead and jump back in there, brother. So I just want to get that in there.
We brought this up last night, and for whatever reason, the conversation got crazy. Okay, but now the image with Rihanna and
let's stick on this for. I know.
Okay, we're gonna get to it later. Okay, we'll get to it later. When it comes to this one, I do agree with people like Reese Targaryen. Imagery does matter, and Black people have gotten nothing but negative, for the most part. I'm talking in the high 90 percentile, nothing but negative press and negative images since we've been here. You know what I'm saying? And there's been no effort by the media to clear that up. There's been no apology. There's been no effort to clean up the mess that America has made when it comes to how they handle black people, us, right? Especially American black people, us. So I do understand. At the same time, I do understand people's gripe with it. I do. Because does imagery matter? Yes. If all you see are bad guys in the movies and they just and they black. Because when I was in the Army, I met a guy from El Salvador. He said, hey, Harris. I said, what's up? You ever been to Yale? You know, with the accent. I said, Yale? No, I've been to college, but I ain't go to Ivy League school, man. No, Yale. Oh, jail. He said, yeah. I said, no, I never been to jail. Right? He said, I thought all black people went to jail. I said, why? He said, I was afraid of you when I first met you. I said, why are you afraid of me? He said, because they're always the bad guys in the movies. There you go. This is a real person, real live person who said this to my face. He thought that all black people were bad because they're always the bad guys in the movies. So if you think imagery doesn't matter, there you go. There's your proof. There are people out there in the world who really think this way, and they have no choice but to, because that's all they see. Now, if all you see is black men being gay in movies, what do you think he's going to see? He's going to think? Like, think about it. The 70s and 80s, I looked up to people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, you know what I'm saying? Sylvester Stallone. These are the action movies, Rambo, Commando. These are the action movie heroes. I wanted to be a bodybuilder once upon a time because of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno. You know what I'm saying? I didn't find out about people like Lee Haney until the 90s. You know what I'm saying? But I was in the 90s. I graduated high school in 96. So, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of late. Who we had? The only person we had was Action Jackson, Carl Weathers, and he only got one movie.
And you have to go all the way back to the 70s. You have to go back.
Ronnie Coleman was the 90s, bro, and late 90s at that.
Well, you have to go back to Jim Brown and Jim Kelly.
He was,
and all
in the 70s,
have to go all the way back there.
By the 70s, Jim Brown, who was he?
Right.
A retired football player from back in the black and white days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, imagery. Does imagery matter? I think it does matter. However, when it comes to this picture, I used to see, again, you look at the fruity stuff Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 used to wear. You look at the fruity stuff Prince used to wear with his butt cheeks out and the pants, right? I never wanted to dress that way. Even though I saw that, I don't want to dress that way. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this picture here is not going to, that he was in, it's not going to make me dress that way. But this is the anime character that outfit was modeled after. Wow. and actually, in the anime, this coat is actually made of real flamingo feathers. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Right. And I was like, wait, it's made of flamingo feathers? I was like, you know what? That could work if somebody actually made that jacket and tried to rock it.
Oh, bro.
But it would take a certain kind of person with a certain kind of style to pull that look off, though. Like Cameron. You're right. Yeah. Everybody can't wear the stuff Prince wears. Who can pull that off? Except him.
Prince.
I mean, like you look at
aside from him, who can pull that look off? But I do understand. I agree that the image does matter. But my thing is, to us, for our kids, is it going to influence us one way or another? I don't think so. For the vast majority of us, it's not. But at the same time, now him plucking his lips, different story.
Right.
Okay, DL, him plucking his lips like that, different story. And some other pictures he took in that photo shoot, different story. Some of the looks he gave.
Yeah, definitely a different story. And to the brother, brother MGTOW, I want to get you back into the conversation here in a second. But to the fellas on the panel, hey, thanks for keeping it clean. YouTube is coming down hard with reference to monetization and all that. So I appreciate y'all keeping it clean, because normally by this time we'd be spicy as I don't know what. But we showing respect to Suzette and her platform. On my platform, we go crazy. All right, just if y'all come over to my platform, you see Mel Drill on the panel, y'all gonna be like, what? Who is this? Who is this man? Because that's how hard we go over there. But
last night it got crazy. We had 2 members of the LGBTQ community
on your show.
Yeah, did you see him on Wednesday show? It was brilliant. It really was a lot, and it shined a light on some stuff that there's a lot. I mean, a whole theme park full of knowledge that we don't have on the LGBTQ community, particular Black members of the LGBTQ community. Like,
now, Now, I don't want to take you off the topic, but that's going to really take us away from what we're talking about.
Gotcha.
You know
but
what I mean?
they were there Friday, and everyone's giving their opinions. And like I said, Information Man came up. Everyone gave good points. You know, the Information Man was like, okay, people like Grandmaster Flash and Fury 5, and he put up pictures of it. Cameo, you know what I'm saying? Prince. He named all these people that we listened to and watched on television who had really unique dress styles, and we thought nothing. Well, we might have thought maybe like, you know, hey, I don't know about that outfit, but then you see them around nothing but women.
Well,
you know what I mean?
So too. It was like a flamboyant,
right?
Because they saw David Bowie. They saw the flamboyant stuff from back in the day.
Exactly.
So that's what they were
David
mimicking.
Bowie. So they're mimicking that. And my thing is, it didn't influence us to go out and dress that way because we were like, man, nah.
No, I never wore, you know what I'm saying? I never wore hammer pants.
I never wore hammer pants either.
I never wore hammer pants. So, but brother MGTOW Universe, man, let's get you back into this, bro. What's your take? Like you've heard what brother Reese and brother Mandrell has to say, man. What's your take on this?
Like I said before, yeah, imagery matters. And the first picture, I'm willing to write that off as like for the ladies kind of a thing, because that's what that picture said to me. I mean, if it was no, but the second picture, no. That is super moist.
I'm not even crazy about the first picture. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, with the puppy lips and all that kind of stuff. Brother Reese, man, like we're the two old heads. You're a year older than me. You know, so we definitely came up in a different era, bro. When I see that, to me it's like it's a psyop. I see that, okay, we want men to be like this as opposed to men being like Schwarzenegger, like what brother Mandrell was saying. So what's your do you have any extra input on what we're talking about here?
Two things that bother me. Number one, this cat can fight. So
hey, go to the gym. They in the gym more than I am. They in the gym working out when I show up. I'll work out for 2 hours, and they still in there working out when I leave.
Now, mind you, he's a married man. This is a married man, though. But
he's a married man?
He's a married man.
Oh, okay,
yes.
cool. Yeah,
I didn't know that, yo. So that adds a whole new twist to this.
Hey, bro, I go to an MMA. I also go to an MMA school, right? MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu they teach there. They're in there too. Okay, they're learning how to box, learning how to fight. Listen, and the nerds.
Listen to me.
So it's a new day, man. All I'm saying.
I sparred a gay dude, and I'm not even going to talk about it. All right.
I'm telling you, it'll shock you.
They sweet, but they not. I got a gay homeboy up the street from here that knocked at least 4 people out around here.
Hey, bro,
all right,
they're
so
men.
There's some alpha in there. All right?
Yes, they're men.
There is. They are men. They are men. Yeah. That make no sense about it.
They couldn't shake it if they tried. It comes out when they don't expect it to. Nature comes out when they don't even want it to. All right?
Yeah.
This right here, I'm wondering did his wife know about the photo shoot before he went? What was that discussion like?
She probably was there. I mean, he's Hollywood. She probably was there. I wouldn't be surprised if the kids were there. When you do Hollywood stuff, especially photo shoots like that for Ebony, if your wife is, especially if you're the main breadwinner, that's one of the fun times you want to bring the kids out. Well, come to this photo shoot. It's a controlled environment. Everything's free. You got your trailer out there, right? This is a little crash course on how it works in Hollywood. This type of photo shoot, like, yeah, once you bring your families. Again, I don't know if he has,
he married to a white woman. She don't mind.
I don't know if he has like boys or girls. It doesn't matter. But this would be a family thing. Like, hey, let's all come out to the photo shoot. It's gonna be fun, right? The kids might be like, yeah, put this on, Daddy. Do this. Oh, do that. We just don't know. Mandrell, you're muted.
Yo, listen.
They're probably excited that he's dressed like this character right here. Yeah, Suzette, this is the character that the outfit was modeled after.
Yes, that's what I heard. It was an anime, kind of old school anime character.
Right.
But people, I guess, don't watch enough anime to know. And so it was seen as very effeminate. And I'll also put up a comment or two, like, for example, this user. And thanks for holding me down, DL. I had to take a food break as well.
I got you, girl. You know how we get that. And real quick, with reference to gay men not being men, they are men. Y'all might not know this, but the Roman in Rome, there was a legion of all gay men.
Was it?
Right, and it was the most fierce legion they had. Why? Because those men loved each other and they were fighting not just for Rome and to win the battle, but they were defending their loved ones right there on the battlefield next to them. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, men are men. Sexual orientation, what you want to be with means nothing. Like Brother Reese said, he said he got dudes over in his neighborhood run up on him and go ahead and call them funny names if you want. You're going to sleep, right?
Yeah. Like I told you at my MMA school. Listen, they're hard like that, and just like Reese said, there's alpha in there.
Yes.
Okay, you can think they're at the end of the day, they're still men. And they will put you to sleep.
I want to get to the comment. Lord have mercy.
And we get that other picture too, Sue.
A random user. They keep emasculating our men, and that was again a sentiment felt by some. Others appreciated it as art and an ode to the anime character, and others said, you can't let men express and be who they are. This was a write-up, I think, in Bossa, the title of the article about it. Jonathan Majors cover Ebony magazine. That's a black gang. Draws devastator. Jonathan Majors exposed his cake-conquering physique for exquisitely erotic ebony. I was like, wow, that was really descriptive. So this was one writer, again, for Bossa. This is how she titled her article, which I thought was really interesting. So it wasn't met, sometimes it was met with this kind of, again, there's an agenda. Other times it was met with almost like an admiration that he has this beautiful physique and it's being kind of showcased in this unique way. But I was listening to some else it, but I want to also now move to Riri. Sister cousin Riri had a wonderful NFL Super Bowl halftime show. We know all about that. This is the cover, guys, that I wanted to bring up here with this panel to ask what it is that they felt about Riri. There was versions of this that were circulating that, pointed out she's the leader, strong face, feminine face from Rocky, her long-term partner and father of her child, ASAP Rocky, in the back. Why is he in the back? Holding the baby, nurturer, covering himself, hand over basically his lower extremities. And the way he's positioned, it's giving woman king, if you will. What did you guys think of when you saw this particular picture with Riri and her family? Again, the article was about her. It was just after her big moments at the Super Bowl when it was released. It's the March issue of British Vogue. Any commentary with regards to this picture?
Can I go first?
Sure.
Just looking at it, this is the first time I've seen this on this show. Just looking at it, absolutely Rihanna looks like she's the leader. She's taking a leader role. Like she's pulling him along. He has the baby, he's nurturing. But above that, even more than that, more so, she looks physically more intimidating than he does. She looks bigger than he does. Shoulders back. She looks like she's ready to defend her family against whatever's out there, and he's just like, and no shade to the brother, you know what I mean? I don't want no smoke or nothing like that, but I'm just looking at this picture. This picture to me shows me that she's just like Wonder Woman. She's the Amazon. She's leading. She's gonna protect. She's out front, right? You know what I mean? Like in the army, you put your best soldiers out front. You know what I mean? That's how the Rangers train. Rangers front. You know what I mean? Airborne, we know, like, we want the best. You airborne, you go in front, you go forward. So I'm just looking at that. Right. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry, Suzette. I'm done.
No, go ahead. Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. There's a couple things I see here, right? So first, understand that I was in modeling school several years ago, right? And I kind of understand how some of this goes. Mm-hmm. And when they're doing your portfolio, right, you're going to take hundreds of pictures, but only about 20 of them are going to go into the actual portfolio, right? Okay. And you don't get to pick and choose which ones they are. And I noticed that when I lined up the pictures all the pictures that I've taken and the ones that were chosen, and when they're trying to teach you how to pose in modeling school, you don't really know what you're doing, and you don't know what you're going to look like when the finished product comes out. Never. Because cameras are tricky. I don't even look this way now. I do on YouTube. So they're tricky. This guy, they're walking, right? Take a real good look at the picture. Her step in that posture, what I'm seeing is power, leadership, dominance. right? Look at her confidence. Her chin is up. Her shoulders are back. His step has femininity sprinkled all over it. He's leaned in, his back. It just looks like a feminine step. That doesn't look like a man that took a step. It looks like a woman took a step. Am I going crazy over here?
No, it's your opinion. You're welcome to share it. Nope, you're welcome to share it. You had cut out, and you said you were in modeling school, and you took 1,000 pictures or 100% pictures, and they only choose a few. And you cut out right after you said something there. What was your main point when you said who selects the pictures?
Yeah, so you don't get to select the pictures that are chosen for the portfolio.
They select for you.
Right, and I noticed that the pictures that were chosen were the more feminine-looking pictures, where I looked more feminine than the other pictures, and that entire industry is dominated by the alphabet people. And this was over 10 years ago. So I can just imagine what it's like now. And I'm telling you, masculinity is shunned in that industry. I don't care what anybody says.
Okay. Thank you for sharing on your opinions and your experiences. Thank you, Reese. MGTOW or Mandrell, do you want to give your opinion of it?
Sure. I think people are just reading too much into this, to be honest. Keeping it real. Listen, I understand why people look at it that way. I do. You're looking at it through a certain lens. However, let's be real. She's the biggest star. She got far more momentum coming behind her. She just did the Super Bowl. She's a billionaire, and he's nowhere near that. She's the bigger name. People will recognize Rihanna far more soon than they would recognize ASAP Rocky's name. Like if I just saw the picture, but if that guy knocked on my door to deliver a pizza or something, I have no idea who he is, and I just saw his picture. But if Rihanna comes to the door, oh, it's Rihanna. What are you doing delivering pizzas? You know what I'm saying? So
what? Nah, it wouldn't be that.
Hey,
Lord.
But here's the thing. She's the biggest star. Like there's a myriad of reasons why she would be put up front. Now we don't know what the nature of their relationship is. It might be the exact opposite. But we have to also consider that how much money did they get paid for that photo shoot?
Oh, they got paid, bro. They got paid.
Right. So I mean, if it's for the money, I'll let Suzette stand out front, and I'll hold her hand and hold the baby.
So the thing is, and
people can say, what are people gonna say? I don't care.
But brother,
hold my hand, baby. Hold my hand.
Right. You better
brother
grab
Mandrell, though. Brother Mandrell. But real talk, though, brother Mandrell. No one understands a true psy-op like you.
Yeah.
Right. No one understands that.
That's why I said I understand. I understand. Okay. I understand why people have that opinion. I'm just giving you another perspective. That check was massive, DL, and you're telling me that they waved that money in your face.
But hold on, but not just this picture. The one we saw before this, and all the other media out there, bro. If your team was tasked to change an opinion of a society, how would you do it?
Oh, of course, through media.
But what about this deal? If the article is about her, what's wrong with playing devil's advocate, him being supportive? If this is her moment, if like Mandrell was describing, she's having a moment. I'm not saying bigger or smaller, but she is having a moment. She hadn't performed live since 2018. This was like a real comeback. She happens to be pregnant again, and it's big news. We care about it. They've been talking about it since Super Bowl. And the article is about her, Rihanna Reborn. Why wouldn't it be appropriate for him to be more in a supportive role? And is that a bad thing?
I agree with brother Mandrell in the sense that if you handed me a check with 7 figures on it, you can put me and the baby inside of a giant stroller and push us along the bank. I get that part. But my thing is this.
This is an agenda.
Yes, there is an agenda. There is still, you could argue. I'm not making an argument, but those who do, you could argue there is a psyop at work here. And that mission seems to be to remove masculine men from this particular society. If you want to make that argument, you could.
Okay. And then I see adult supervision. Thank you, everybody. JT Taylor, everybody who's making their points. RM, I see you. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Miss Globe Girl. Hermes Addict saying he is not emasculated. It's a picture taken in a moment strategically to present that idea. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's that
We know better
deep.
than that. Come on now.
You didn't think nothing's by accident. Everybody have an agenda. Everybody trying to
If
give
you
a.
want to, promote baby mama culture because she's not married and she's about to have the second baby, and if you want to promote weak black men, I mean, again, this is a 30-some year pattern that we're seeing. This is not just this one cover. We don't have a sample size of one. Like, this is like an ongoing thing, year after year, decade after decade. So you show this picture to a 5-year-old and to a 10-year-old girl or
And
to a
what is it
15-year-old
saying?
girl, and what do
hear
they
you.
say?
I will hear you. I hear you.
Hey, that's a
Let
great
me read
point,
it.
brother. That's a
Yeah,
great point. And here's the thing, too. I didn't realize that Rihanna wasn't married. Maybe she's more red pill than y'all letting on because she's obviously the one making more money. So maybe
Baby mama of 2.
baby mama too, who's worth millions and
I
millions
was
of
about to say
dollars.
billionaire baby.
No one cares about that.
But
No
no,
one-
baby
but
mama.
no. But hold on. Let me get this thought out.
Just a woman with money.
Here's
Go
the
ahead.
thing, though. Is Rihanna red pill? Is Rihanna not getting married because she's like, if this don't work out, I got to pay this dude alimony. I got to pay this dude child support.
So be a baby mama?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. Like, is
She
that one
is
of
a
the?
billionaire, and she. What? Say what you just said again, MGTOW.
All right, she is obviously the one making the money. She's the billionaire in America.
Well, he's a millionaire too, but I mean,
But she's the billionaire.
Yeah, she's a
Like
billionaire.
Kelly Clarkson is paying a ton of child support right now. So is Mary J. Blige. So is Britney Spears. So is Halle Berry. Whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe Rihanna's like, yo, I got the relationship. I don't need to be married to the government. I got the man. We got the babies. Maybe they said words before their God, and they are living. What I
As
mean,
if they were married, but just interesting.
why do that? I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Let me read a couple of comments. Thank you, DL, and thank you, MGTOW. I wanted to understand where your mind was in terms of who she is. But Hermes Addict says, that's Vogue, Condé Nast probably dying with all their print media. They want that female household-led demographic to feel comfortable with them beyond this.
Yep.
That lets black women, I think it's supposed to be woke women to know that Vogue sees us, letting black women know that they see us. So maybe, again, is it all marketing? Trying to get somebody big, pop culture icon out front, people talking, whatever black people talk about is going to trend and going to be the cool, the curiosity of the moment.
Who are the black people that are in right now? Jonathan Majors, Rihanna. Who else? Who else am I forgetting? There's a couple others, but you see the imagery. Like
this is interesting. Emerson says ASAP had to be masculine to be emasculated in the first place. Y'all get out of ASAP business. All right. Ebony says Rihanna is an international superstar. He's not well known, except now most people see him as her baby's father. I guess it depends on the circles, right? When was the last time he put out any music? Okay, point taken. Adult supervision ads, but again, entertainers will play parts for money. Why do people take them so seriously in the first place? And again, the people would argue along these lines, why are we even using them as our examples? But they're given to us, I think, by media, big media, matters. As our example, because we're like, come on, why are we looking at these people who don't, there's another controversy with Sierra's new song, For the Girls, I think it's called. And
exactly.
I got all money. You make your own money, pay your own bills. You don't need no man. And again, Sierra sitting up in her house. I don't know the full context. I haven't listened to the whole song. But there was a, trend. I saw I Am Courtney Michelle comment on it. You're in your nice house with cooking dinner for Russell Wilson. So is Beyonce. So is Cardi B. So is Riri. So is, Kelly Rowland. So is all these people, so independent. All the ladies independent singing all those songs with the lyrics, teaching you to be a single lady. And then they have their good man at home, So I don't know.
Suzette, you know what?
Yeah.
I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
I can't wait for this summer when you have part 2 to this show when the later pictures come out. Because this isn't over. This is a family now, and they're going to start appearing in pictures more and more. So we'll see what happens. Right? And I'm mad at the fact that they pulled this stunt on the cover of a black magazine. They could have went anywhere else.
Yes, I hear you. Your opinion well taken.
Well, if it's owned by white people, then are we really surprised?
Wow.
Say it one time. What'd you say?
If Ebony, and I don't know this for a fact, if they're owned by white people,
no, they're not. I think it was clarified in the chat that a black
my mistake then.
I thought it was white owned as well. No. Rosalind Brinson, it's his kid. Why wouldn't he hold him?
Of course.
But why take off his shoes?
And you see, it's the women in the chat that's okaying this, and that's exactly what they're counting on. You see the women in the chat in the comments that they're leaving. That's exactly what they're counting on. It's no big deal. It's fine.
It's a win for everybody. Just follow the money, says Hermes Addict. Look at all the folks who eat off this seemingly innocent things. So is it okay to show different sides of Black men's masculinity? Is it okay for Black men to be soft in the media eye, or is it because we only have a few of these covers, or the images have to mean so much to us because there's not a lot of them, that we can't have like a broader depth of what Black men are really like? And I know Black men are soft when they need to be. They're protectors when they need to be. They're, humble when they need to be. They're bold and confident when they need to be. Is it not okay for a Black man like Jonathan Majors, like ASAP, to show a different aspect of their masculinity? Is that what we're saying?
I would say that we should portray our Black men like Barack Obama or Adam Clayton Powell Jr. or Malcolm X or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I think that's the image we should be putting out there. Could you imagine Malcolm X doing that photo shoot dressed like a pink character from anime? You know what I mean? Like, I
hear your point.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Nobody would ever take him serious ever again if he posed like that.
Suzette, okay. I think there's a push for this. I really do. Because there's so many different kinds of Black men that you could show in entertainment. But lately, in the past decade or so, it just seems like it's mostly this. Or when this type of thing happens, it's pushed harder than everything else. That's just my observation.
So, okay. So there are people that will feel this is super intentional, that this is a bigger, for lack of a better word, agenda, plot, whatever, to emasculate traditional Blackness. And again, I know Malcolm X loved his kids. I saw pictures with him hugging up his little daughter, picking her up, kissing her, and whatever. Those, I think, were powerful images of Black manhood too, my opinion.
Yep.
But we're saying we can't have or should not readily put that out. I guess you're saying the contrast to him and Rihanna in this picture, because I think in the article there's also Rihanna with the baby, and I think there's one, I didn't pull it for the show, of him cooing with the baby and sitting next to the baby or whatever, cooing with the baby. It's his child, and I know Black men that love to show affection. That's a part of the spectrum of emotion. But you're saying maybe this is not the place for that public.
I mean, why not display them on equal footing? If you got to have him in the shot, why not have them on equal footing at least? But no, this is like, it seemed like it was an attempt to put her in a position of power. Yeah,
so
bigger,
even
stronger.
If the article was about her, still too much.
I mean, again, this is just my humble opinion. I mean, you can't take away from what Brother Reese is saying. You inundate people with this message, and it gets in here, and it bounces around, and it doesn't leave. It stays. You know what I mean? So, and it's like, oh, it's okay. It's more acceptable to be this way, whatever this way is. Oh, it's more acceptable because I've been getting hit with millions of images nowadays, especially on social media. It's all right there. Swipe, 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 swipe.
And it's like kind of, you're saying, getting in your brain. All right, point well taken, y'all. We have about 5 minutes left. Cody's talking about what masculinity imagery is a strong tool, and media puts it out there the way they want it to be taken. It's all intentional. Same thing adult supervision was saying. They plan out these reactions. They sit there, they plot this. The arrangement was intentional. Don't be tricked. Let me see. Hermes Addict says, I agree. We've sold some of our worst images and continue to for a short-term gain. I don't think it will stop, unfortunately. Ebony said, I don't want a man to wear women boots. It was jean boots. Literally, you'd have to put them on to get the jeans on. Like, it was all in one jean pants boots. Fashion for sure. It has nothing to do with the baby or being with her. It's how they curated it. Okay, Cody. Well, I think I'll get your final opinions, gentlemen. Will we see more of this? Is it we shouldn't be supporting this? Don't buy the Ebony. Don't buy the Vogue. Or, I mean, obviously, it's British Vogue for our folks watching overseas. Or I think we can get access to it if we wanted to. Is again, it's inappropriate for us to have this type of, I guess, I don't know if is it a celebration of Black love? Or
no, because she's not married.
Okay, MGTOW, thank you. So you're speaking. MGTOW's like baby mama, billionaire, baby mama. Like, goodness gracious. So much for black love. I was gonna say black love. Non-married black love, but long-term commitment black love, I guess. You're like, don't call it any of that too. Okay. Final comments on what we should be doing as a black community to go against this or support it. Will we be able to have black men have a full spectrum of life? I don't know. I don't know. But you're saying again, with a woman involved, it should never have been him in the back. They should at least be equal, is what I'm hearing from the panel. Not everybody. Final thoughts. We'll start with Mandrell. Mandrell, you still here? All right, we'll start with Reese. Go ahead. Final thoughts, Reese.
I'm not going to jump to conclusions with this because I'm going to wait till ASAP Rocky drops an album or gets a movie role or something and to see what the pictures look like after that when the article is about him.
Okay.
So I took into consideration the point that you made, Suzette, about, Rihanna's notoriety and stuff. Okay, give her the cover and put her out front. So I don't know if that's what that is or if it's what I think it is. I can't be sure. But
Okay.
I do. It seems like there's an agenda. I mean, look at the Song of Ice and Fire world, right? Look how Game of Thrones portrayed black people. Grey Worm was a flunky, did anything Daenerys said. Salador Sand was a thief. Zarzan Doxor was a thief. They cut Missandei's head off. So now they throw us a bone when House of the Dragon comes out, right? And show you a black family, the richest family in all of Westeros, by the way, right? And the greatest seaman that ever lived, but they give him blonde dreads. And they make his son, who's supposed to inherit the throne, an alphabet boy, right? And there's more to come of what they're going to do to this family. I read the books, so just stay tuned to that. And
don't give it away. Don't give it away.
No, never.
Yeah.
So you're really going to see some madness. So I'm not going to jump into conclusions yet. I'm warming up for the part 2 of the Suzette Speaks in the summer. That show is the one I'm waiting for.
Let's go.
I'll leave you guys with a prayer.
Go ahead.
In Old Valyrian. Axioson ilion misas. May the Lord of Light protect us all, for the night is dark and full of terror.
Oh my God.
That was fly.
Reese and I,
Love y'all,
yes.
man.
Game of Thrones references for a win. Thank you, Reese. Always a pleasure having you on,
Yes,
brother. Hope
ma'am.
to see you soon. Take care. Reese deep, y'all, into that Game of Thrones. Now, you better know, you got to watch the series to know those insider quotes, etc. But there is a lot about life that you can learn actually from Game of Thrones. I would agree with him. MGTOW, you want to go up? And then Mandrell, when you're ready, let me know, please.
Sure. Yeah, it's just, the system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, is keeping black people on our backs. For us that know better, some of us make excuses, some of us may we see the patterns. Now, if you look back, in the Waiting to Excel days or the Oprahs in the mid 80 days, like we didn't really see it back then, but now we see the propaganda machine back then. So these images, they are conditioning the young women of tomorrow. What are they, Gen Alphas now? So yeah, I would not be surprised 20 years from now, you see, oh wait, we already have that, a bunch of unmarried baby mamas. Rihanna just got money. As far as Sierra, I think Russell Wilson should have left her out in the rain. She would not, with her prayer, she would not be having this song today. But the system is going to do what the system has always done, and it's up to. Hell, I don't know who it is up to. If you get the people, if you get people when they're children, they're going to really believe whatever they see.
Yes. So my question is, what would be your solution, MGTOW, to saving black relationships if we could? Is that your goal? That's not your goal.
That is my goal, but you're going to get a headache again when I say the P word.
No, I'm not going. Okay, stop. Pause. I appreciate you. Thank you for
so much. Thank you so much.
Always interesting, and I really do thank you for your insights. People gonna learn. We don't always have to agree, but it always is fun. Shout out to MGTOW. I can't go back there. My hair gonna hurt me. Mandrell, final comments from you, brother, on either Rihanna, on Jonathan Majors. We're there. Mandrell, going once, going twice. I know you had to. It sounded like you had a phone call. Darn, Mandrel, I'm gonna drop you down, darling. I hope you are okay, and I appreciate you coming through, giving us that anime reference, and helping us to understand what exactly was going on artistically, if that was the case. And again, others are gonna have the opinion that this wasn't, that wasn't that. It was nefarious. It was something that was supposed to send a message. Let me see. Miss Globe Girl says, I can't wait to see a movie about Black men and how masculinity, how masculine, innovative and creative they are. Exactly. Because the point I was making when I was on, y'all know I'm on Roland Martin every Wednesday. And actually, I'll bring up a little clip. We were talking about this, and I was just saying, like, if we're not allowing Black men to fully express themselves, who happen to be cisgender, as they're calling it, or heteronormative, when can a Black man just be happy and joyful and fully expressed? And shout out to Faraji, Redefining Masculinity and Black Woman Femininity. Y'all could go find it on my community tab. If you're on Facebook and you're watching, go over to YouTube and look up SuzetteSpeaks and go to my community tab. It was a great conversation this past Wednesday with Faraji Muhammad over on the Roland Martin YouTube channel, talking about these very topics. We talked about the Jonathan Majors, and we talked about the Riri cover and how we are confined sometimes in our definitions, and maybe people want to be confined, it sounds like here, to what Black masculinity is and Black woman femininity is. But Faraji Muhammad and I had a wonderful discussion on this on the Roland Martin channel. I'm on there again every Wednesday, 3 to 5 Eastern, as a guest commentator. Great topics covered over there. We talked about healing trauma. We talked about all kinds of stuff. I hope I can get permission maybe to clip up some stuff, because I'll be doing work over there, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, trying to help our community, and we are trying to have good, constructive, and edifying conversations. And y'all know I love doing that, and I think I found a great place and a space, home to do that on the Roland Martin channel with Faraji Muhammad. But yeah, go over and watch that. If you are not a member of my YouTube, go over to YouTube, please, and subscribe if you're watching. But so many great comments, such a great conversation. DL, I don't know where you want to end on. But there's a lot. I mean, Hermes Addict, hit me up on Insta. Let me know if you want to do a show. Miss Globe Girl, let me know if you want to do a show. So many good comments here. Yeah, it's like, yeah, she says, I am old enough to remember Asian men being made fun of and their image taking a hit. I remember them being the least desirable. I think there was survey after survey talking about they were the least desirable to be dating or in the dating market and all this. They're women divested. There's a lot of cross-cultural marrying, cross-racial marrying with Asian women and others. And the men leveled up and became the highest earners. Her opinion, Black men should follow suit. I hear you, sis. Thank you for your opinion. You're talking about MGTOW. Miss I get alienated. It's clear dude doesn't like Black women, but there's a ton of that in the RP, and they loud as heck. Listen, I don't think all Black men think one way, and it's good to hear the various opinions. Again, nothing here necessarily reflects my opinion, but I will give people the space to a certain extent to get all of what they need to get out. And so we can hear, so we can learn. Is that how men are thinking? Is that how that type of men are thinking? Let me listen so I can quickly identify what this man thinks like, so I can see if it's a compatible match. That's what we really want to get to. Y'all stop wasting people's time. I really am getting to the point where if I don't really like you, I'm not going to go on that, even the coffee date or anything of that sort. If I really don't, not digging them, you kind of blocking your blessing, because the man that you really would want or the woman that you really would want is probably better, and waiting. And this person is taking up time and space in your life and in your mental space to, removing you from who you might be actually really connecting with. So let's try to be better towards each other, not be users and people who are trying to get a free meal or, come up, so to speak, but really hopefully seeking out genuine and not one night partying with people, or at least if you are, be straight up. Stop fronting. Stop trying to camouflage as, I'm the good guy long term, or I'm a good girl long term. So much more I can say about this. But DL, what are your final thoughts today?
Well, Miss AKA Lady also had another comment in there. She was talking about how most guys in the red pill space just don't like women. I would definitely disagree with that. Most guys in the manosphere, in the red pill space, they want a woman that loves and respects them. One woman. They don't want to, have a rotation or spin plays. They really don't want game. They want the woman that they really that woman that they think is attractive and they desire. They want her, and they'll go out and they'll work themselves to death to provide and provision and protect that one woman. The problem is most women, these dudes, they're average or maybe slightly below average. They don't make a whole lot of money, right? They just don't. And the manosphere is telling them that it ain't equal. They're telling them if you want women to see you, you gotta put in the work. You gotta invest in yourself. You have to make yourself the best possible version of yourself. You gotta drag yourself out of the bottom 80 into the top 20. Now women see you. Now most of the women see you, right? And now you can have a shot at some sort of relationship, but you got to do the work. So I would argue that the guys in the manosphere are just women haters and this, that, and the third. Yeah, there are those guys out there who are just the weirdos. They are loud. They're like, oh, it's the doom and gloomers, and they call them black pillars. You know what I mean? You got all these different color pills. I had to learn this stuff too. They call those dudes the black pill guys, right? You want to stay away from that world. But this, getting back to the picture, there's creativity, there's money involved, this and that. Like Rihanna and ASAP, they don't get to, like Brother Reese said, they don't get to pick the photos. That's not written into the contract, nor would they care. But I mean, would it have hurt to have a shot of a photo of maybe ASAP sitting at the table holding the baby and Rihanna coming over with food for the baby and for ASAP or something like that? Would that hurt to show that picture, to show what's really going on with these top tier women who got these top tier men, right? Best believe Cardi B is cooking and cleaning for her man. That's what she's doing, ladies. Right. So, but there's this narrative out there that be a boss, babe. You don't need no man. You know what I mean? You should hold out for the best. Meanwhile, you're single and you're spending all that money. We are better together than we are apart. I think there's a narrative out there that, that wants to do away with masculine men. I do see that. They like, well, they're behind that. Whoever they are, there's something going on that's pushing this narrative. And it's probably simply because they figured out that this is what folks are buying. Who are the number one consumers in the country? The majority of the consumers, they're women. So if this is what women are buying, and they're going to continue to push that content out. As a content creator, if I do a show, it's a great show and a lot of people are watching it, guess what? I'm going to do more content like that. That's what you're supposed to do now. I'm a knucklehead. I do what I want. But you see those shows that are successful, they just push out the same stuff and they get the money and they get the result. So there's a lot to think about, y'all. And that's one of the things that I say on my show. I like to use the sound effects and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot going on out here, people. And here's the thing, in life, you got to think, man. I got a button for that.
Think tank, Arch. Nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
Put it in the old think tank. Do what's best for you. Figure out your life. Quit trying to be like the Joneses. Quit thinking that life's a fairy tale, because it's not. Life is closer to a
or stop following celebrities or trying to emulate things that are maybe not even coming from them. As we've described here today, there is a feeling that maybe the powers that be, whoever they are pushing something on us, and we just have to really, that's why we have to know ourselves. We have to know our own values. We have to know what we value and why. Are we just following what people are saying to us we should really do, and why? We should value the career, we should value whatever, and we got to really be both men and women have to be very conscious about our intake. As it was said earlier, I forget who said it, but shout out to DL saying, y'all go subscribe, check him out. He has some great conversations going on over there. We got to be careful. Hermes Attic, I'm gonna leave, girl. Y'all getting deep again. You can talk crazy about black because we are broke. That they starting to stop it with black women because they see we're getting the bag and gaining money. Just my opinion. I hear you. So follow the money is her opinion. There's so much more we could say about this, but we got to go, y'all. I appreciate you coming. That's our show. DL, thank you very much for coming through. Always a pleasure. You always get me all riled up, or some of y'all do, but appreciate you. Thank you. Can't wait to do it again. Thank you so much. Y'all, again, please check me out. each and every Wednesday on the Roland Martin Network. Y'all can see me there with Faraji Muhammad. We doing work over there. Great topics, great conversations, and I'm grateful to be on his platform each and every Wednesday from 3 to 5. Go back and watch my old streams, y'all. Black Women in STEAM just did it this week. 10 mistakes for weight loss. Fantastic stream. We just did it. Coming up Monday, Frida's World. Another fabulous content creator and attorney is going to be coming through Monday, Frida's World, 4 p.m. And I think most of my shows next week will be at 4, except for Wednesday when I'll be on with Faraji on Roland Martin. But yeah, come through. Come see me. If you're watching on Facebook, go over to YouTube and please hit the subscribe button. Mandrell, we done with the show, bro. What? Mandrell.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have final comments? I feel bad because I was going to drop you down because I'm done.
It's okay. I understand. Just as I came back here, I was like, she's ending the show.
I'm done.
Gotcha.
Final thoughts from you, though? You want to say anything before we leave?
Yeah, people, get over yourselves. It ain't that deep. I understand what Dio was saying about the psyops because, since time immemorial, Black people have had nothing but negative press, in movies, television, just not the right representation. So I get that. But, hey, people keep taking the money to do these photo shoots and do these movies. Talk to them. How about this? We have Tyler Perry with that big old studio. Have him write action movies starring Black actors that are actually good. So we have options now. We don't have to have those kind of images. But I mean, they give us a 7-figure check. I mean,
well, we're doing whatever they want, right? So we got to be principled, I guess. I don't know.
But reasonable, principle, but reasonable. Principle, but reasonable. But
we still want the check, so we're gonna do what they need. Anyway, Mandrell, let's do another show when you get some time. I would love to have you back on. You and Shushu. Let's figure out a topic maybe in March. Would love to chit chat with you. But thank you. My struggle stream is real, so I'm gonna head out. Thank you so much.
No problem. I saw you stream on fitness. I saw you stream on fitness, but I couldn't cam up.
Okay.
Yeah, I was running around and stuff like that.
I'm probably gonna have Janice back. So we'll do another one. But yeah, she was really good, giving some great tips. Thank you for watching, you guys. I appreciate you, Mandrell. Thank you, babe.
No problem.
Have a good one. Awesome. Of course, always a pleasure. Again, go check out also my moderator. One of my moderators, RM, has a channel. It's 1950s vintage, old school, ode to old school femininity. Please, RM Feminine for the Win on YouTube. RM Feminine for the Win. She's fantastic, y'all. She helps out so many different channels, and I appreciate having her here. Thank you very much, RM. When you come by, I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Doug. Thank you to my other moderators as well. And yeah, we have so much more we can discuss. We're not going to save relationships with in the Black community in a day, but we're going to talk about it. And I appreciate you guys taking this journey with me. If you like the information you got, hit the like button. Comment after the show, go over to YouTube or right here on Facebook and you can comment. But if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go over, please look me up at SuzetteSpeaks and you'll find all my shows, well over, I don't know how many hundred now. And I'm going to go back and finally give you guys kind of a refresh. If you didn't get some of them good shows from last year, you get to take a peek. But support the channel, support on Patreon if you can. Thank you guys to all my Patreon members who support my content on a monthly basis. I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I appreciate all of you for watching. Okay. Great spending time with you. That's our show. I'll see you next time. And thank you again to DL Saint for being a part of today's broadcast. Have a great day, y'all. See you Monday for Frida's World on YouTube. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.